walking. He's striding down to the cup when he hits that ball.
And Charlie McIntosh gets a good break. He catches the left side of the hole, but he's going to pick it right out of the bottom of the cup.
I was practicing this hole this morning, Ken, earlier, and this hole seems to be breaking a little bit more than it has been.
Would it be because probably it's not as dry as it has been in the past few weeks, few days?
I think so, Ken. Yesterday we had just a shower of rain, and I think the course is playing a little bit more difficult.
This is a 27-foot putt through a 7-inch opening.
Yeah. And look at his speed, Vance. The speed is fantastic. He's just dropping it right into the front of the cup. That's 3 in a row for Rick Smith.
That's what he's got to have, Ken, is speed.
I think putting is all over, same all over, and on our grass greens, it's all speed. That's all putting is speed, because you're going to misread a lot of them. And now, if you happen to hit the right speed, you're going to make a lot of them. Charlie McIntosh.
He has to make this, Ken. He's got to make this.
He hit a good putt. And it slides off to the right as a break.
Talking about the ball broke to the right.
Well, now, Ricky Smith has a decisive advantage going into the 13th hole of being 2 up. 15,000 to the winner, 5,000 to the loser. This is a 35-foot putt off the right rail to the back rail, and hopefully into the front of the cup. He hit it a little too far. He has about a 3-foot putt coming back. And when you're playing for 10,000, these can be missed.
They're knee knockers, Ken.
Charlie McIntosh now. This is not a pickup hole. He's really going to have to hit a superb putt here to get this match back down to within 1. Charlie McIntosh, 31 years of age, won $5,300 in 2 months.
Hawkey hit a bad putt.
Charlie hit a bad putt.
Bunted that.
I still don't think pressure really is getting to Charlie that much, so I feel like he's just not concentrating as well as he has been, but I don't think it's the pressure. On the 14th, Rick Smith with a 2-up advantage. Charlie McIntosh, down 2. That's no strange position to him. In his quarterfinal match with Bob McCumber, he was 3 down with 5 to go and had 5 consecutive aces. Rick Smith will be going to the right rail on this 27-foot putt. He's hit a pretty good putt, but it breaks to the left.
And the door opens for Charlie.
His speed was good, Vance. I think he just missed his mark off the mat.
Yeah, he missed the mark, Ken.
Well, this is where he started his phenomenal string of aces against Bob McCumber from Indianapolis, Indiana. Our young managing pro there had a 3-up lead over Charlie McIntosh and saw it disappear. And Charlie hit a bad putt. Charlie hit a bad putt. He remains 2 down with 4 to go in the $200,000 World PPA Putting Championship.
Hawk, you know what we have coming up? 4 straight holes, and we've got the ace machine, who is a straight putter.
Dave, they say that he can putt the ball straighter than any living human being, and we have 4 holes, as you just mentioned, that are straight putts.
Well, there's one. One of the 4.
There's one. Charlie McIntosh has got to make this, or this match will be dormy. Now I think he feels the heat.
He has to, Ken.
Knows he's got to make it.
Big putt. Maybe the biggest. Certainly the biggest of his career.
And he does. He tops Rick Smith. Remain 2 down with 3 to go.
16th is a 27-foot putt straight. And this man is a straight putter. If he aces this hole and Charlie McIntosh deuces, the match is over. Rick Smith would be the world winner.
It's going to have to hurry, Hawk. It's going to have to hurry. And it rolls beautiful right into the cup.
Speed is fantastic. He rolled it right in the cup. He is 10 under par after 17 holes.
Charlie McIntosh has to ace.
The pressure is here. We've been talking about, is he under pressure? I think he is right now.
Last 2 putts are the biggest of his whole PPA career. He certainly didn't leave his short.
And he knocks it in to run the match to 17. Rick Smith remains 2 up with 2 to go.
That's fantastic, Ken.
Great putt by Charlie McIntosh.
If Rick should ace this, Hawk, it's all over.
This is a 27-foot putt, straight once again. Dave Lloyd called the shots on that. The man can hit it straight. He's had 2 straight putts in a row. This will be the 3rd in a row. Certainly an advantage. He has the honors if he aces it. The World Putting Championship is Rick Smith from Muncie, Indiana. And he didn't leave this one short.
Oh, bad break there, Hawk.
He hit it too hard. He hit it a little too hard. I think he was just thinking about, he didn't want to leave it short. But still, Charlie McIntosh has to ace. If he deuces this hole, Rick Smith is still the winner. The pressure is all on the Birdman. He's come back twice now in his matches to get to the finals. Once with 9 in a row, and once with 5 in a row. And he didn't leave it short.
Oh. He lifts out. The match is over.
Rick Smith is the new world champion.
Well, we certainly had an exciting series of matches. The World Championship is over. Rick Smith is the winner. There are a couple of people here I'd like to acknowledge and thank them very much for their help. John Thoburn from Cleveland, Ohio, our scorer. Hi. John did a fantastic job giving us the stats, the par, the number of holes played, and it really was a big help. Dave?
Hawk, on my side of the fence, right beside you, my scorer, Tommy Hogue from Louisville, Kentucky, who did an outstanding job keeping up with everything that was going on, letting me know all the time how many under par they were, how many over or under strokes they were. Just a fantastic score. Tommy, thank you so much.
Now, I'd like to acknowledge also Wilbur Hildebrand, manager and the owner of this course. He hosted this tournament. Wilbur, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Ken. I certainly enjoyed having you folks here. Thank you, David. Well, Hawk?
And my partner here, Dave Lloyd, the 25-year-old president of the PPA. Dave, I certainly enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to the next couple of years of doing it again. You did a magnificent job, and I'll see you next year.
Hawk, enjoyed it. Sincere pleasure.
All right.
Take care.
Well, we have now Tweety Bird, Charlie McIntosh, 31 years old from Connors, Georgia, the runner-up.
Thank you very much, Ken.
Charlie certainly deserves all this applause. He had a magnificent tournament. This man has come a long way in the last year. He came into a lot of money. He used that money to go out and get a lot of experience, and he won $5,300 in 2 months, which is not bad. It seems like money comes to money, doesn't it, Charlie?
Well, in this case, I had to use money to make more.
You played a great series of matches here. You got to the finals against the Ace Machine, Rick Smith. You're going to go away with $5,000 more, which adds to your money winnings. I know you were not completely disappointed.
No, I'm not disappointed at all, because if I felt like I won, I was the best, and so I didn't win, and Ricky's the best.
Well, Charlie, I know you made a lot of friends here, and we all were pulling for you, and we'll see you again next year.
Thank you, Ken.
All right. Don Clayton. Oh, wait a minute. We forgot the check. Come here. We've got Miss APA here, Marion, to give you a check for $5,000, a trophy behind you, and also a little kiss on the cheek. All right. He says that's the best part. Don Clayton, chairman of the board of the PPA.
Hawk, you've done a grand commentary this week. It's been great. I'm sure you've added a lot of color to the show, and it's good to have you with us. We'll be looking forward to having you do the color in future years.
Thank you very much, Don.
And you know, when a man is given a gift by God, and he has an ability to be the best in the world 1 year, he comes back the next year, and he finishes in a sudden death match and loses on the first hole of the playoff. The following year, he comes back and wins the world again. The man that's dominant in the world of putting, world putting champion, Ricky Smith. Ricky, congratulations, baby. Now, this young man has this trophy. The trophy is so large that we won't ask Rick to take it, and just after he won the match, he walked up and took this ball and said, all week long I've been looking at the trophy, and I've wanted to put it right there, and that's where that ball's going to stay. So our trophy has been improved by the ball that won the world. We'd like to present the check for $15,000. Our Miss PPA, Marilyn, I'll let you do the pleasure with the check and a little inspiration for Rick. Beautiful. This now puts you back considerably in the lead in all-time money winnings, well over the $60,000 mark. You've only been playing this sport, which is a summer sport, played for a few brief months each summer during the past 6 years. You're 22 years old, picked up $60,000 plus in your your hobby. How you feel?
I'm just speechless. I don't know. I played McIntosh is one of the best players on the tour, and I just can't believe I was lucky enough to beat him on his own back nine.
Well, you did, and there got to be a lot of other people now that are wondering who will beat Ricky Smith in the World Putting Championship. We'll be playing this summer for $50,000 first place money. We hope you'll come back, and we hope you've enjoyed the World Putting Championship. From Winston-Salem, North Carolina, this is Don Clayton with the Professional Putters Association welcoming you to the final match in the World Putting Championship. Several months ago, we began qualifying men for the World Putting Championship. 64 tournaments were held throughout this nation, in Australia, and in Africa, as men sought for the opportunity to play in the World Finals. 128 men qualified for this event. There were 8 men that you have had an opportunity to see in the past 7 weeks on television. Rick Smith, John Connor, Mike Pfeiffer, Jim Heritos, Bob McCumber, Charles McIntosh, John Kessler, and Buddy Fowler. Each one of them a great champion, having survived the elimination match play. Each one of them having many, many opponents of great ability to defeat. And now, the 8 has been reduced through the televised series to 2 men, to Rick Smith and Charles McIntosh. And they're here today to play in the finals for $15,000. The man who was called a favorite before this tournament started, on my left, Rick Smith, 22 years old. He became a professional at 15 with special permission of his parents. He had won so many amateur tournaments that his course owner and his parents suggested that he be allowed to become a pro. And on that first year, at the age of 15, he went to the National Championship Finals, only to lose it in the playoff. He's taken his money earnings, paid his way through college, bought a golf course that he owns himself, and now he's a managing pro. Without a doubt, the outstanding record of any man in the ranks of the Professional Putters Association for the past 6 years. And his opponent today, Charles McIntosh. Age 31. Charles has been playing this game for 12 years, been playing as a pro for 7 years. And for 6 of those 7 years, he was just another good putter. A fellow who did well in tournaments, won some money, but no outstanding performances. This year, Charlie came into some money. He came into an inheritance. He decided to give up his job and do the thing that he really loved, and that is to play competitive putting. He's traveled throughout the nation this summer, participating in more tournaments than any other man in this country. This match will be 18 holes of match play. The winner will receive $15,000, the loser, $5,000. Doing the commentary on today's finals in the World Putting Championship, Ken the Hawk Harrelson, the great baseball player who gave up the 6-figure career to take a swing at the world of golf. He's become famous for the walk that he executes when he scores a birdie. And we're going to see the Hawk now as he puts the ball on this hole, finds out if he can putt like the pros putt. And he can, and here's the Hawk walk. The walk that's made Ken Harrelson well known throughout the country. Kenny, baby.
Hello, John.
That walk is one you like to do because I know you do that every time you score a birdie on the golf course. Perhaps you'd get to execute it more often if you were playing as a pro in this sport instead of a pro in the world of golf.
Well, if I made as many aces as Ricky Smith or Charlie McIntosh, I think I'd have a broken back.
It'd wear you out, wouldn't it? Also assisting Ken the Hawk Harrelson in the commentary on today's finals, David Lloyd, the president of the Professional Putters Association. We'll be back on hole number 1 for the action after this message.
Standing here with me is Dave Lloyd, president of the PPA, and Vance Randall, twice national champion and last year's world champion putter. Fellas, looks like we got a terrific match today. Both these guys are putting the ball well. And Vance, you know what it is to be playing for $15,000 first prize.
I think both of them has to be nervous, Ken. This is a last match, and it's $10,000 difference.
That's a bunch of money. Ricky Smith, our favorite, I guess you'd have to say, in this match, was the youngest ever to turn pro in the PPA. He was given a special dispensation or a special vote by the board of directors at age 15 because he so dominated the amateur ranks to turn pro. He's been a pro for 7 years, and he's the second all-time leading money winner behind Vance Randall.
And Charlie goes one up advantage.
Birdman. He looks like a bird, and he makes a lot of birds.
Birdman goes one up after one. You know, I'm going to go out on a limb today, and I'm going to go with Charlie McIntosh. I think that experience breeds confidence, and this man right now is showing it in every manner. I mean, before the shows, after the matches, in every way. He just feels like he can win, and I'm going to pick Charlie McIntosh. Charlie hit a bad putt there. He pulled it, and now he's going to have a little toughie coming back. This can be missed. The past year, he has done a remarkable job climbing the ladder in the ranks of the great putters.
He taps in for his par 2, as all these holes are par 2 for the
PPA National Professionals.
Rick's been around a long time, 7 years, and been an excellent putter, and strong contention for putter of the decade. I'll have to stick with Rick on this one, huh? Rick has got a tough putt here also because he can remember 4 weeks ago when he took a 5 on this hole. And he got what he wanted.
The Ace Machine, as he is called by his peers. He called him the straightest shooter in the East.
Have some very beautiful girls changing our score again today.
On this hole, if you knew the match was even, it's a dangerous hole. What would you do?
Well, Vance, I am what you call like a charge putter in golf, and but this is an especially difficult hole. I would say probably this is among the top 3 on the course ace. I would be certainly lagging here. How about yourself?
I would lag.
Ricky Smith is certainly, I don't think, going by the hole. He hit a good putt. If it doesn't break off, it's going to be in there.
And he knocks it in. The Ace Machine's going to be very tough, isn't he? Who are you going with, Vance?
Well, I've played a lot with Charlie. I've got to go with McIntosh.
He's really gained a lot of experience and confidence in the last year, hasn't he?
He sure has, Ken.
He led in 2 months this summer. He won $5,300, which is nothing to sneeze at. I think that's more than any other PPA professional in 2 months' time. Vance won $4,100. So you can see there is a lot of money to be made here, and Charlie hit a bad putt.
Oh, he hit a bad putt. Going 2 down after 3 holes. So
no, he's one down. He aced the first one, Davey. Charlie McIntosh, 31 years old, from Conyers, Georgia. And Charlie McIntosh is, in these matches and series of matches to get to the World Finals, has had a tremendous string of comebacks. He aced 9 in a row against Wilbur Hildebrand in the Gulf Biloxi. Rick Smith, on the 4th hole, has a one-up advantage in the finals of the $200,000 World PPA Putting Championship. $15,000 first, $5,000 second. He's going to be a tough man with a one-up advantage. He's going to the right rail here, off the hump, and try to come in the back door, and he makes it.
Hawk, that is the most uncertain way to putt it, but Rick knows what he's doing.
Charlie certainly does not want to go 2 down to Rick Smith. Charlie's going to play it the same way as Rick. He hit a bad putt. Charlie goes 2 down after 4 holes. Charlie McIntosh has a history in these matches of getting to the World Finals and coming back. He aced 9 in a row against Wilbur Hildebrand in the Gulf Open. He aced 5 in his quarterfinal match to get to the semis.
And the straight shooter from Muncie, Indiana, Rick Smith, had a straight putt and knocked it right in the hole for 4 in a row.
And I just noticed in Rick's speed, that ball just went barely into the cup. His speed is great.
If the Birdman can't get this one in the hole, he's going to have a big job to overcome.
And Charlie McIntosh knocks it in the top end, remain 2 down after 5.
Well, after 5 holes, Ricky Smith is 4 under par and 2 up in the match with Charlie McIntosh. 6th is a 25-foot very, very touchy putt. It's all speed, and Vance, as mentioned before, Ricky seems to have his speed down today. He's going off the left rail over the first 8-inch incline. Try to drop it in the back, and he lifted out. He hit a very good putt there, Vance.
That was pretty. The ball should have gone the cup. He just got the lip and just lifted him right around. He could have got in trouble with that putt, Ken.
He certainly could have. Had the ball lift a little higher and come behind the obstacles to either side of the cup, he would have had almost an impossible putt coming back. This is going to be a good opportunity for Charlie McIntosh to pick up a shot here or pick up a hole and get back to 1 down.
Oh, Charlie wants this hole. He's going to be trying. He's looking at it real light. Trying to get that right speed.
Yeah, he's hit a good speed putt.
And he knocks it down in. The Birdman's coming back. He's only 1 down after 6.
You can see by the scoreboard that Charlie McIntosh has narrowed it down to only being 1 down to Rick Smith, and he wants this hole, and the pros consider this an automatic. And I'm sure Charlie's thinking the same thing right now, and he lines his putt up off the left rail up into the cup on the right corner of the hole. And he had a beautiful putt right into the bottom of the cup.
Yesterday, Charlie missed his hole, Ken.
But again, we were talking about the honors, and he has the honors now. You know, sometimes these automatics become suddenly a psych point that you can't get over, and you think they're so easy, and you get a little scared of them.
Good. That evens a matchup, Ken. He rimmed it around.
Well, this is something now that the honors are so important in anything. The guy who can get up there first and do a job is certainly putting a lot of pressure on his opponent, and as long as the guy can hold the honors, he has, I think, a definite advantage.
I'll agree with you, Ken.
The 8th is a 27-foot putt with 2 options. This is a hole with 2 water traps in the fairway on either side. He has the advantage right now as far as the momentum goes. He's going off the left rail to the right rail and try to come in the back door, and he's hit a good putt.
He's hit a real good putt there. This young man looks like he is really found his stride.
He has, and Rick's got to find his stride right now. Psychologically, he's down. He's out of the lead. He's got to get back on the honors.
Notice the way he lines the ball up right on the toe of the putter. He then comes back, takes it outside, and hits it in the sweet spot. And he's hit a pretty good putt also.
He went in the front door. So this match remains even after 8 holes of play in the World $200,000 PPA Putting Championship.
Charlie McIntosh with the honors on the 9th. It's a 24-foot putt straight up a 3-foot incline, and this is another speed putt. Both these golfers are really playing well in the conditions in the finals of this $200,000 World PPA Putting Championship. After 8 holes, they're both 5 under par, which is really phenomenal.
Looks like
Charlie McIntosh hit a good putt. He just pulled it just a shade, but anytime you get that close to 24 feet, it is a good putt. This is a relatively simple tap in, but when you're playing for $10,000 difference in prizes, nothing is simple.
He knocks it in for his par 2, as par is for all PPA pros on every hole.
Rick would love to have this and go into that back 9-1 up. No doubt about it, and he's going to look at it. Speed is so important on this putt. Trying to take that 3-foot in.
He hit a bad putt right away. He knew he hit a bad putt. He pulled it. He looked like one of my strokes. He snap hooked it off the tee with a putter. He's got to tap in now for his par 2.
And the match remains after 9 holes of play for the $15,000 first place money at all even between Charlie McIntosh and Rick Smith.
In the PGA tournaments, it takes approximately 15 to 20 minutes to play a hole of golf. This entire 18-hole match, with first place of $15,000 and second of 5, will be filmed in approximately 21 minutes. Shows you how much pressure there is in $10,000. Well, Dave Lloyd, 25-year-old president of the PPA, describe this hole for us.
This hole is 23 feet long, straight putt. There's another way to play it, which Charlie's going to do. Off the left rail, about 4 feet down the fairway. Left rail, and try to break back into the cup up a 3-foot incline. And he tunned that putt, Hawk, tunned it.
It went off in his hands, as they say. It just exploded. Now he has got one difficult putt coming back.
Can go all the way back to the tee mat. If it misses that cup because you're going down an incline to the cup, plateau, another incline down to the fairway. Very difficult putt.
Well, Charlie McIntosh just hit a putt. He charged it. He now has a very difficult putt coming back. Even though this may be 3 times or 4 times as long, I don't think it's as tough as the one he had the second putt.
No, second putt's definitely long. Definitely harder because of that downhill climb. He is.
Charlie McIntosh is going to take a 4 here on the 10th. But it really doesn't make any difference as far as the strokes go because this is match play. His 4 there, Ricky Smith, I'm sure will not take more than 2.
He should play this hole very conservatively. He's going to play it the same way, bank it off about 4 feet down the left rail, up the hill, and he should play it very conservatively because all he's got to do is get a 2 or a 3 to win this hole. And he has. He didn't take his 2 or 3. He got that ace right into the bottom of the cup.
They call him the ace machine. You can see why now. He has a habit of always bouncing the ball before he tees it up, you'll notice. This is the 11th. This has 2 humps in the fairway. These players will attempt to miss the right hump, go over the left hump, and into the hole. This is a 27-foot putt. Ricky Smith, with the all-important honors, misses the first hump, goes over and hits a good putt, and knocks it right into the hole. If you get by this first hump without touching it at all, you have a real good chance of acing it.
Hawk, it looks like Rick has definitely got the psychological.
Charlie McIntosh. Charlie McIntosh hit a good putt. And he's knocked it in. Beautiful.
But Kenny's still 2 down after the 5th hole.
Mike Baldoza, among the other players who competed in this tournament, was the odds-on favorite to win this match. Of course, the ones who are backing Charlie felt like that he would win it easily because of the experience he's had. This is a straight putt with terrific sensitivity and speed.
That's what it is, a speed putt, Ken, and he executed it to perfection. That's the speed it needs because it does have a break, and you've got to play that speed. You got to charge it just enough. McIntosh has got to get it. He's got to top him and get back up and make way for Baldoza to make a mistake.
He's hit a good putt, too. He's hit a good putt, too. It's amazing how these guys knock these 26-footers in like that, David.
They've putted 1 million putts, Ken, in this year to get ready for this match. After 6, Mike Baldoza stills 2 up to Charlie McIntosh. This number 7 is an interesting hole, Ken. The ball goes between 2 rectangles, about a 9-inch opening as you look at it from the tee mat.
This kind of a match, David, is more than 9. It looks like it's about a 2 or 3 to these guys. Each putt could mean $1,100, $40,000 difference in prize money.
Charlie's going to have to continue to ace these holes, Ken, and wait for Baldoza to make a mistake because Charlie's got to get back up in the lead, and to get in the lead, he's got to take honors away from Baldoza.
He almost missed it. He almost slid by on the right side, but it goes in the bottom of the cup and remains 2 down.
Ken, Mike just won't let Charlie get back up. He won't open the door for him at all. And that's what it's going to take for Charlie to get back up. Those 2 first holes, first 2 holes really hurt Charlie. That 4 on the first one, I'm sure, psychologically hurt him. And Mike's not leaving the door open at all.
Well, he hit a super putt. It's a very touchy putt. That's off the right rail. And he takes the left break and comes back into the cup in the front door. Charlie's going to have to make this one. This is not an ace hole.
No, it's a very missable putt. You got to hump back on the left side of the hole. It goes all the way down, really. Like you said, it does break. He may get back door if it hurries, but it does not, and he goes 3 down after 8 holes, which is not a good position for Charlie to be in.
With a string of 5 straight aces, Mike Baldoza has a 3-up lead, playing the 9th hole in the first round of a 36-hole final match. This is a 27-foot putt, touch speed all the way. Nice follow through by Baldoza, hit a good putt. Slides off on the left, and he's going to take a 2.
Could be an opening for McIntosh here. McIntosh is only 2 under par because he took the 4 on the first hole. Baldoza's 6 under par.
Well, Vance Randall earlier had said if Baldoza gets up on top, it's going to be tough to catch, like a little secretariat. Charlie's going to have to do something here, make a move of some sort.
He played it left rail. He didn't play the straight shot as Mike did, but he overcompensated. Goes way by on the right side of the cup, which is not the putt he was supposed to execute.
He hit a bad putt.
Sure. He's going to tap in for his 2 and remain 3 down after the front 9 of this 36-hole match.
going to be a tough putt here. This is one that is going to have to go 3 rails, and it has to be hit hard. And anytime you have to hit a ball hard. And he just missed. He hit a real good putt there.
3 rails is always tough, Ken, because it's based on English and speed, because he can come off the rail with bad English. So they really have to put the English on going into that first rail to get the proper English on. 3 rails are rough.
Charlie's going to have a tough time acing this one.
It's not a pickup hole, Ken, at all.
Being 3 down, Mackie Bird's going to have to do something. He didn't hit it hard enough, did he?
I don't know. It's going to have to get some legs now. He drifted over to the left.
He is really hitting the ball bad.
Yeah, real bad. Pressure could be there. I don't know. Being down, of course, is always pressure.
Here's the 11th, putt of 42 feet. Mike Baldoza will go to the left rail, off the back bunk board, back down 18 feet, into a cup set on a slight incline. And he hit a pretty good putt. He knocked it right in the hole.
That's what they call a 3-bank. He went over the hog back on the left back and then hit the right rail back into the cup to kick it back off. That's a difficult putt.
Minnie Max is going to put some pressure on Mackie Bird.
Well, 7 under par after 11 is not a bad score. Only missed 4 holes.
You know, he played 25 under par against Darrell Freeman to get here in the quarterfinals.
I don't think he got the kick. And he moves to 4 down. Minnie Max is 4 up.
Mike Baldoza says, I like me. He says, I'm the best player. And I think the man means it. You know, David, it just astounds me, the growth of this sport. I guess when you're playing for the purse of $320,000, so you guys have really done a tremendous job bringing this out.
Beautiful speed, Ken, beautiful speed. Ken, I appreciate that, because the Professional Putter Association in a period of its 14-year history has tried so diligently to make the public aware that, number one, we're a sport, that it does take skill for these putters to put putts like this, 27, 28-foot putts straight down or with breaks. And it is involved in speed and touch. And so many times, you know, they compare us with billiards or whatever they want. Oh, Charlie Thompson. But the thing is, we were very excited because $320,000 is the second largest tournament and one of the largest ever held in the world. And next year it'll be even larger with $75,000 first place money. But we're very excited about the future because we feel it's just nothing but bright.
13th hole is a very difficult hole to ace. What a good putt. What a good putt he hit.
He was robbed.
Split off on the left.
He was robbed of that. Thought it was going to lift in there for a minute.
You know, I can see, this is my 3rd year doing the commentary, and I can see the difference. You know, a couple of years ago, it was just us out here with our cameras and our crew. And now there are numerous news media people here, TV stations all over the United States, newspapers all over the United States. It just shows the growth of this thing. Charlie's going to have to do something right here.
He made a different shot. He's not going to be able to get back to it. Didn't have enough on it. Didn't make a move.
The rest of these holes coming up now are going to be ace holes, so Charlie's going to have a tough time picking it up with Baldoza shooting so straight.
All Mike's got to do is top Charlie on these straight holes, and he'll go into the back 18 with a lead. This 14th hole is a 26-foot putt. It's got a wing 9-inch opening up by the cup. It's a hard hole because if you bunt it off to the right or to the left, you've got a hard 2 coming back up a 2-inch plateau.
Mike Baldoza is going to continue to keep the pressure on Charlie McIntosh.
He's coming up to a series of straight holes here all the way through 18, and really, Mike has got the advantage. He's hot. Charlie's going to be very difficult to pick up the strokes that he needs to finish the 18 even, but I just don't see any way unless Willie blows. Bad break there.
He was 5 down. 5 down after 14 holes of play. Charlie McIntosh is in a very poor position now. This thing keeps going the way it's going. Mike Baldoza is going to win about $3,000 a hole.
Mike Baldoza on a 27-foot straight putt. The cup is on a 3-inch incline. He goes down between 2 humps. They call it the valley hole. It breaks right, left, no flew into the cup. And a beautiful putt, Ken. Beautiful speed. Mike's displaying fantastic speed. He's 10 under par after 15 holes, after only missing 5 holes.
He said he thought he was going to have to shoot about 2,500 to beat Charlie McIntosh, but it doesn't look like the match is going to last that long, Dave.
Not at the present rate.
Charlie's got to be scared to death right now, even with all the experience he's had. He's got to be scared to death being 5 down to this man.
Charlie will have to get back up on Baldoza at this point in the match by either matching Baldoza hole for hole, or by taking advantage of Baldoza and gaining strokes on the next hole. But the 16th hole is a terribly difficult one because it's got a hidden cup 27 feet down the fairway behind a metal triangle, and it's not at all a pickup hole.
Baldoza has a putt here, is Tuffy.
Oh, beautiful.
And this man, I'll tell you, this man might just have enough to go ahead and just make this a runaway.
This is not an ace hole. They don't consider it that. We've seen a lot, Ken, in the semifinal and elimination rounds, a lot of people going by on the right side of the cup, and that's a normal to go by on the right side of the cup and come up against the triangle. But, Baldoza's putting with a lot of confidence.
11 under after 16. Charlie's hit it. He's hit a good putt. Charlie McIntosh tops it. Tom O'Brien, my scorer, tells me this is a 27-foot straight putt, 17th hole, in between 2 lakes. Is he going to get there? Lips out. He hit a good putt.
That water on the surface may have affected that putt a little bit, Ken. It's been dry normally. But evidently the gallery moving around has caused it to splash up a lot.
Mike Baldoza gets his deuce to remain 11 under par and 5 up.
Now I'm going to take a guess here. Ken, Charlie saw that putt, and it is a wobbly, down right, slow putt, but I bet he charges it to get it by that water. And he may charge it too much.
He did just He hit it right in the hole. Charlie McIntosh goes 4 down with 1 to go. And after this 18th hole, we're going to go up there and interview the players.
Ken, it's going to be interesting to see what Charlie has to say about his first 18 because he's had a difficult time out here today against Baldoza. And I don't think he's going to be able to pick up another hole on the 18 because it's a tremendously hard putt, and the pros consider it the hardest hole on the course.
Charlie McIntosh on the tough 18th. Up a 3-foot incline, then up a 2-inch incline. A putt of about 30 feet. He hit a good putt. Goes to the left. He's going back down the 2-inch incline, and he'll have a tap in, a tough tap in for his par 2. He makes it.
Well, Charlie able to go to Mini-Max with his par 2 because Mini-Max has been putting tough out there today, and with an ace, he can go back to 5 up going into the back 18 and make it mighty tough on Charlie.
Mike Baldoza, 11 under par, has a chance to set the all-time TV record of 12 under par with an ace here. Hits it by the hole, and he too will also have a little TV tap-in coming back to his par 2. He can't afford to miss this one. He lifted out. Ooh, what a turnaround. Charlie McIntosh wins the last 2 holes of the first 18 to go to only 3 down with 18 holes remaining. Mackie Bird, you're 3 down after 18 holes in this final 36 for the $50,000 first prize, but I know you're a lot happier than you were at standing at the 17th tee.
Well, I think I'm smiling a little bit, which I shouldn't be really smiling, but I was 5 down, and Mike's such a good putter, I don't think I could beat him with 5. But now with 3, I'm not going to give up at all.
Mike, you had a terrific round going there. You had a chance to break the all-time TV record of 24 under par. For the 18 holes, you had a 5-up advantage. What happened in the last 2 holes? You hit a good putt on 17, didn't you?
Yes, Ken, I did hit a good putt on 17. It's just one of those things where it just broke off and caught the lip. And on the 18th hole, same thing. I just didn't know the putt.
Did the water affect your putt at all, you think, on 17 between the 2 lakes?
No, I stroked it, pretty good.
Well, you've got 18 holes to go, and standing here beside me is last year's world champion who defeated Charlie McIntosh in the finals, Rick Smith. Rick, do you have any advice for these 2 men playing the final 18 for the $50,000 first prize? You've been there before.
Well, I don't know. I think Mike's going to have to play another good game because I think, I really feel we're going to hear from the bird in the next 9 holes.
We've got 18 holes left in the World PPA Putting Championship, and we'll return with those final 18 after this message. Starting the final 18 in our 36-hole champion match, we might have had an interesting turnaround here. Tom O'Brien and Bill Boss, our official scorers, just informed me that every man so far in all the matches who've lost the 17th hole have gone on to lose their matches. And even though he's 3 up, Mike Baldoza lost the 17th hole. We'll see if fate or tradition has anything in store. Charlie McIntosh now has just aced the first hole of the second 18, and if he can keep the pressure on Mike Baldoza, that 3-up lead could disappear very quickly. Mike's going to have to continue his hot pace. He was 11 under par coming into the 18th hole, and he 3'd that, so he was 10 under for the first 18. And he tops it to remain 3 up after 19 holes of the 36-hole championship match for the World Putting Championship.
Standing here with me is Rick Smith, the defending World Putting Champion, who was eliminated by Mr. Mike Baldoza. Ricky, you probably know Charlie McIntosh better than anyone else. He's now 3 down after 19 holes. What do you think his chances are to pull back even?
Well, David, I think McIntosh is going to play well the rest of the match.
He just had a bad break there, Rick.
Well, earlier in the match, he's been pulling his head up when he swings through the ball. But I still think he'll be in the match before it's over.
You mean by pulling his head up? Of course, he just breaks his swing when he pulls up.
Yes, he's looking up before he hits the ball.
Not keeping his eye on the ball, or right behind the ball, which is where it should be. And he misses that one. He's going to take a 3.
Let's take a look at Charlie's swing on replay to see if we can catch Charlie's movement over the ball. Yeah, there it is. He's moving his head right along with the movement of the putter, and the only thing that should move are their arms and their shoulders. But he's jerking his head up right with the putter as it swings through. Charlie evidently is just not concentrating.
You can't make small errors in a match like this and expect to win.
Well, Charlie, after coming back on 17 and number 1 here and topping it, and Mike having topped him, of course, I'm sure Mike's going to be very conservative here, as conservative as he possibly can. And he lifted out, Rick, but he's got a deuce, and he goes back to 4 up if he makes his putt. And he did. He's 4 up on Charlie McIntosh. Give me something about Mike's stroke. Is he stroking the ball good?
Yes, he's stroking it very well. He's following through as good as I've ever seen him play. He's got a kind of swing that he's not going to choke because it's such a basic, solid swing where he moves so little of his body that he's not going to make any errors.
Charlie McIntosh just made the error that he was looking for Mike Baldoza to make by 3ing a hole. Baldoza comes right in, makes 2, and he's got the match back to 4 up. And he aces this hole and continues to put the pressure on.
After 21 holes, he's 12 under par, which is not a bad day's play, Ken. Rick made an interesting comment that Charlie's been pulling his head up during his stroke, which, of course, takes his eye off the ball. That may be one of his problems, and, of course, Mike's had such a, as Rick said, smooth strokes that there's not much you can do wrong with it. And he tops him, but he still is 4 down.
Help over the front, sir. I got to help over the front.
Moving into hole 4, which is the 22nd hole of the match. This is that putt, Ken, and the semifinalist in the show. You know, we talked about everybody was moving it off to the right, and Jim Heritas, a very, very good, outstanding pro, told us what his thoughts were on it, that they should be playing it off the left rail and play that break instead of going straight. There we go again, Ken, right to the right of the cup. The same break. Jim was right. They should be playing it against the break, and they're not. They're playing it straight down the fairway.
Well, I have yet to see one miss this hole to the left. They've all missed it on the right.
Mike taps it in for his par 2, which is par on each and every PPA hole. McIntosh, I'm sure, when he thought about this match last night, or this morning before it teed off, would not think that he'd be 4 down.
Oh, he missed it on the right also. He caught the lip. The ball could have gone in the hole.
And these are certainly the kind of breaks you have to win a championship match. Charlie's going to remain 4 down if he makes this putt after 23 holes of play. After 22 holes of play. Rick Smith just gave his expert opinion, and believe me, it is expert. He's the all-time leading money winner on the PPA Tour. He says that Charlie McIntosh is going to have to ace the next 7 in a row to have a chance to catch Mike Baldoza. Mike's hit a good putt. It lips out. You know, we've seen quite a few lips already in this match today. This gives Charlie an excellent opportunity to pick one up here. Taps it in for his par 2. He makes 12 under par after 23 holes of play. And unless Charlie sinks this one, he's going to still remain 4 up.
This is a long putt, Ken. I mean, it's a missable putt. Anytime you're putting 26, 27 feet, it's a missable putt.
Anytime you get out of the leather, it's missable for me.
And he aces it and picks up a stroke. He's only 3 down now, going into the 24th hole. Rick, let me get your thoughts here for just a second. You know, Charlie just went from 4 down to 3 down after 23 holes of play. What's going through your mind when you know you're 3 down to a guy who's putting the eyes out of the ball? And do you get scared, or do you panic at all, or is it just tough to hold your concentration?
Well, it's really tough to hold your concentration. You know you've got to have a string of aces just to hope to catch up. There's another error that he was looking for Baldoza to make, and he made the error.
This was an automatic ace hole, too, isn't it?
Yes, Michael made this hole.
Charlie's got an extremely difficult putt coming back, but regardless if he makes it or not, this still should be aced by Mike Baldoza. And Charlie is just not putting up to his normal stroke today. I don't know if it's nerves or if he's moving over the ball a little too much or what, but he usually has a terrific amount of confidence and steadiness over the ball. Let's watch him on this one. He moved a little bit on that one also.
Oh.
He's going to 3 the hole, and he'll go down back to 4 down.
Okay, I think another thing that's probably running through McIntosh's thoughts is that here he is, made it all the way to the last match, and he probably knows that he's probably going to lose again.
You think that thought right now is running through his mind that he's probably going to lose?
I think it is. I think his confidence has been broken by these 2 silly 3s.
Mike Baldoza moves back to 4 up.
Mike Baldoza on the 25th hole, hole number 7 of course number 2, 4 up. It's a straight putt, 28 feet in length, confident. This kind of lead he's got to be, Ken. He's putting the ball so smooth.
Well, I think the whole style of today's play was made on the first hole by Charlie McIntosh. He forwarded, and it seems to be the way he's going all day long. He just hasn't been able to get anything going like he has in the past to get here, and this will be the 2nd time in a row if things keep going that he's been defeated in the finals of the World Championship.
I'm sure that's on his mind right now.
And
that Rick Smith defeated him last year.
And in 2 years, getting to the finals and losing both times would cost him a total of $50,000. Charlie's got to have this putt.
He blew it. I think Rick was right. Charlie has already got a defeat in his mind. Let's look at these 2 putters and compare their putting strokes. Mike Baldoza, Mini-Mex as he's known by his fellow putters, has such a smooth, sweet stroke, an excellent follow-through, keeps his head right in place, no movement of the body at all. In contrast, Charlie is definitely lifting his head during a stroke, which certainly alters his accuracy on the follow-through and the movement of the ball. That's not the putting stroke that got Charlie to the finals of this World Putting Championship.
11 holes to go. Mini-Mex got a 5-up lead. This should be an ace hole for him, and as long as he aces 4 more holes, he's not going to lose.
Looks good, Ken.
Oh, caught another
good
lip.
Gracious. Same thing.
Well, he's not going to. Charlie McIntosh, if he doesn't ace this hole, I would say the match is over. Really, he's going to have to come in here with some aces, and he's got to get the lead, so he can put that pressure right back on Mini-Mex to try, if anything in the world, to make him guess a little bit.
That's the way it's going.
Charlie's got to have it. Left rail, and he got it. It did break in. Back, broke left, back into the cup. Moves to only 4 down. And Charlie McIntosh steps up to the tee of the 27th hole in this 36-hole match. It's a straight putt over a 6-inch incline, 2 feet in front of the cup. He's got to have it.
Charlie is spot putting like bowlers. He picks out a spot up to 6 feet in front of the hole, tries to roll the ball directly over there. He never looks at the hole itself. He had a pretty good putt here. He just didn't get the right break, and he's going to tap it in for his par 2. It's almost imperative that Mike Baldoza miss this one, Charlie. Foot putt over a 6-inch incline, hopefully down into the hole. If he misses, he can go behind one of the rectangles and have almost an impossible putt coming back. It's called he's a good putt.
Oh,
into the hole.
Beauty. Close to 5.
Those will go back to 5 up. Right, Charlie? Well, we're 3/4 of the way home and you're 5 down. Can you do anything about it?
It's going to be real rough. I'm just going to have to get my game together and just play the best I can.
Charlie, what is the reason that you haven't been putting well today? You're nervous, or have you moving your head? There's got to be something, because you're certainly not putting with the capabilities that you have.
Well, on a couple of holes, I spot putt like in bowling, and I just couldn't see my spot, especially on number 7. There's been so much traffic on the course, and they're just faded out a little bit, and I'm guessing a little on a couple of them. The other reason is my speed is not as good as it usually is.
Charlie, best of luck to you. Minimex, I know you must feel pretty good with 9 holes left and having a 5-up advantage. You've been putting very well. Have you been putting the way you thought it would take to have this kind of advantage?
No, I'm stroking the ball real good. Probably the best I've ever had this week, and I'm not as far under par as I wished I could be. But this is head-to-head, and me and Charlie have been playing together all week, and it's just I'm getting a little bit more breaks than Charlie is today.
Well, you've got 5-up lead. Can you hold it?
I believe I can, Ken.
And we'll be back to see if he can in just a moment after this message. Mike Baldoza, 2 years as a pro. Career money winnings of $4,000 today. It looks like he has an excellent opportunity to increase his career money winnings by $50,000. This is a 26-foot putt over 3 inclines, over the second hump, and hopefully into the hole, and he knocked it right in. I would have to say that Charlie McIntosh, somehow or another, for any hope of whatsoever to win this championship, is going to have to get the honors and then ace all holes on the backside, Dave.
That's right. You're exactly right, Ken. You know, Rick said that a while ago that he was going to have to ace the next 7 in a row. He didn't quite do that. And he's certainly going to have to ace every one on the back 9 with honors.
And he tops it. He tops it to remain 5 down with 8 holes to play in his World PPA Championship. $320,000 purse total, with $50,000 today to the winner and $10,000 to the loser. A difference of $40,000. There have been over 900 men this year try to qualify to get to this tournament, and these are the final 2.
The amazing thing, Ken, is it made over 2,500 attempts. Beautiful putt.
Baldoza is not going to let up. He's going to continue to grind Charlie McIntosh. Charlie can't do a thing when he's hitting second. He's going to have to get the honors. If he misses this hole, it'd be almost an impossibility. Even if we put a ring of roses around his neck like Secretariat, I still don't think he can catch him. And he missed it. He'll go 6 down after 11 holes on the back 9 of the final 36 in this championship match.
Mike Baldoza, 6 up.
This match could conceivably end right here.
That's right. 7 holes to play. He's going to play the double. And it rolled in.
Knocks it in. He's knocked it in. Charlie McIntosh is going to have to ace. This match could end right here for the $50,000 first prize in the World Putting Championship.
A lot of pressure on this man right now, Ken.
A lot of pressure.
It's either do or die.
More than any in the world. Beautiful double bank shot on Baldozer's part. Beautiful speed.
Charlie McIntosh has to ace. This will be the second year in a row he's been defeated in the finals of the World Putting Championship. Those two defeats would have cost him a total of $50,000. Charlie
He'll have to hurry.
Have to hurry.
Have to hurry. And he did not.
And it's over. Mike
Baldoza.
Baldoza is the winner of the World PPA Championship. $50,000 first prize.
Unbelievable, Ken. Yeah, Mini Mac's up there, Ken.
Mini Mac is up there. He's just won the World Championship. A total purse of $320,000 with $50,000 to the winner. This young man has more than quadrupled his lifetime money winnings today with a purse of $50,000. Excuse me, please. Mike, did you come down, please? Mike, how does it feel? Win the World Championship and $50,000.
It was beautiful.
You beat a tough man out there today. You putted well. You lost your concentration there for a few holes, but all of a sudden you got it back. How does it feel to win $50,000?
Great. I'm glad.
And we'll be right back to interview these men after this short message. In 1972, there were over 900 men who tried to qualify for the World Championship. Charlie McIntosh was one of the remaining two and lost. In 1973, there were over 900 men that tried to qualify for the World Championship. Again, Charlie McIntosh was one of the final two. Charlie, you lost again. How does it feel for 2 years in a row to make it all that way and in the final match lose?
Well, I don't feel too bad with this consolation check of $10,000, Hawk. I just had a time to think about it a minute ago, and if I'd played my normal game, I really still believe I would have lost by 1. He played so great, and I just had one of my worst games, and I lost by 6. So if I'd have played really great, I believe I still would have lost by 1.
Well, Charlie, these two losses in the last 2 years have cost you a total of $50,000. Today we have two gifts for you. We have, first of all, a trophy that is symbolic of the runner-up for the World Championship, and also we have a check for $10,000 as your consolation prize. Charlie, you've made a lot of friends here, and there are a lot of people pulling for you. We wish you the best of luck in the future. Congratulations. Charlie McIntosh, a real champion. A real champion. Thank you, Charlie. David Lloyd. David, I want to thank you so much. It's been great. This is the second year we worked together, and I just think you did a marvelous job. You helped me so much. And I would like to say that in the future, I hope we can do just as good a job as we did this year.
Thank you, babes. I enjoyed it, too.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sam Torn. Sam Torn, how are you? This is the club owner here. He has provided us with an excellent facility. He's done a marvelous job in making sure that everybody and the staff and the players themselves had everything going for them very easily. Sam, thank you again very, very much. I also want to thank the whole staff. Jim Black, come here, Jim. Jim controls the crowd as far as here and does a marvelous job. Jim Black.
It's always a wonderful opportunity to see so many people, and you've all been just great. Thank you again.
Jim Black, thank you very much. And now to present Mike Baldoza with his prizes and his $50,000, here's the chairman of the board of the PPA, Don Clayton. Don.
Well, we waited a long time for it. It took us 13 years to get to this big payday, and the little man from Texas came home and took all the marbles with him. The big 50 goes to Texas. Mike has instructed us to deposit that money in his bank in Fort Worth. He says he thinks it's safer there than the presentation here, and that's precisely what we will do. Mike, come out. Congratulations again. World putting champion, Mike Baldoza. Carol, would you help? This trophy is Mike's, and if the two of you will pick it up, and now, Carol, I want to see you turn it loose and see if Mike can handle it all by himself. Thank you. All right. Mike. Now, you proved you could handle Charlie today. You had one of your super days. You were 19 under par after 20 holes, and after 30 holes, and you said in a pregame interview that if you made 2 out of 3 holes in one, you thought you could win. You did exactly that, minus about a third of a hole in one. Super match. Now, you handled Charlie all right. The trophy looks like it's getting heavy. Let's put it to rest, Mike. From now on, you don't have to carry around anything, baby. You got people to carry it around for you with a big wad full of money. Mike, how old are you?
18 years old.
18 years old, $50,000. That's over $5,000 for every day that every year you've been living. You know that?
Yeah, I'm glad.
Yeah, I'm glad too. Did they teach you in school how to do this?
No, sir, they didn't.
What did they tell you in school to do when you got a lot of money?
Put it in the bank and be careful.
That's what he's going to do. He's going to put it in the bank and be careful. Mike, you'll be back, I'm sure, in succeeding years. You know, as exciting as this is today, for $50,000, next year the Professional Putters Association is offering its first place in the world, $75,000. Are you're going to be back to putt for it?
I will be back next year.
Mike Baldoza, the world putting champion, again, congratulations. We'll look forward to seeing you in future years. And ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of all of the members of the staff of the Professional Putters Association, the several hundred sponsoring course owners throughout the world, may we extend our gratitude to the people of Tulsa, to the media, for their excellent reception and hospitality in this city. We've enjoyed being here. We look forward to coming back to Tulsa again for another major putting event. We hope you will join us next year as we continue our annual search to determine who is the world's greatest putter. This is Don Clayton on behalf of the Professional Putters Association.
From Tulsa, Oklahoma, the 1974 Professional Putters Association's $320,000 World Putting Championship. Today's 36-hole match play event between two of the best professional putters in the world. One, Mike Baldoza, an 18-year-old pro from Fort Worth, Texas. All of his fellow pros call him Mini-Mex. A very popular young pro, but he's got an excellent veteran opponent in Charlie McIntosh, 31-year-old pro from Decatur, Georgia. Last year's runner-up in the World Putting Championship. And of course, Charlie will be back out here this year to try to take home the first place money. Here is Don Clayton, founder and chairman of the board of the Professional Putters Association, to introduce today's match.
This is Don Clayton on behalf of several hundred member courses of the Professional Putters Association, welcoming you to the World Putting Championship. And today, a very, very special, memorable day in the life of the PPA. A significant day in this, the 13th year of the Professional Putters Association. And if I may take this personal reflection, 13's always been a good number for me. The 13th year, we're offering $50,000 for prize money. On the 13th of a month, my only son was born. I'm looking forward to some fantastic putting competition to occur over the period of the next hour, and we invite you to join us for this action. You will see two young men compete over 36 holes of match play. One of them will go home with $50,000, a purse that's seldom offered in the world of sports, and one that's unequaled in the world of putting. To assist today and describe the action, the commentary, to bring some color in life, to talk to the players at moments of elation and perhaps at moments of defeat, Ken the Hog Carrollson, the great baseball player, who gave up the baseball career to pursue a life of golf and has added so much to the Professional Putters Association and his color commentary over the past couple of years. Kenny, I've got a few butterflies just waiting for this action. How do you feel about it?
Well, Don, as hot as it is in here, the action is going to be a lot hotter out there in just a very few minutes.
And the payoff, make a comparison, Ken, with the other sports.
Well, Donald, in 1967, we played in the World Series against the St. Louis Cardinals. And we finished second there. We won $5,000 apiece. The Cardinals' winning share was $9,000 apiece, and how times change. These guys are competing for $50,000 first prize, and only a few men in the history of professional sport have ever achieved that in one day.
It's a lot of bread to take home in one day, Hawk. To assist Ken the Hawk Harrelson, Dave Lloyd, the president of the Professional Putters Association. Dave's been watching these young men develop their putting skills, has been working to organize the tournaments, and I'm sure it has to be an exciting day for you, David. Now, I know you've talked to the players some. Are they a little uptight?
I've talked with Charlie McIntosh and Mike Baldoza, our two finalists, Don, and they say, look, I'm okay. I got a lot of sleep last night. In fact, Charlie said, I got too much sleep. But just between me and you, I think they're uptight, and I think perhaps they had a few nightmares, too. They're uptight because $50,000. Of course, the loser's check of $10,000 is not bad to take home, but $50,000 is a lot of money to putt for 36 holes for.
David, I join in that sentiment with you. I talked to Charles a little early as we were having lunch before the match was ready to tee off, and I said, Charles, are you tense? Do you feel anything different? He said, no, Don, I really feel kind of normal. And we then discussed it a moment further and arrived at the fact that if he was normal on a day when in the next hour or two he would either win or lose $50,000, perhaps he was sick. When we finished that conversation, he said, I'm not sick, I'm nervous. And he acknowledged that a little tension does exist. This sport of professional putting began back in 1960. The entire year we played a series of tournaments, offered in prize money a total of $27,000. This year, in the $320,000 World Putting Championship, prize money has already been dispersed down to the 264th man who won $400. Now $260,000 in prize money has already been awarded, and the two final figures have yet to be determined, whose name we write by $50,000 and $10,000. And that's what this day is all about. We came to Tulsa, Oklahoma with 8 finalists when we began this television series yesterday and today. We've watched some of those men compete. The two finalists, Charles McIntosh, Mike Baldoza, going for the Big 50 and for the big trophy that's symbolic of the National World Championship in the field of putting. And I see that our two men are in the little interview tent now, and fellas, we're trying to get you ready for this match because under these lights, this is hot. But things might warm up a little bit more when we move out on the golf course in a few minutes. And this is more than just a casual affair to these young men. They've worked for a number of years to prepare for this precise moment, the moment that they play for a world championship. The stakes we've enumerated several times, the matter of the cash consideration, but the pride is involved too. They both would like to just know that they're the best in the world at the sport in which they devote so much of their life. Young Mike Baldoza on my left is from Fort Worth, Texas. Mike is, from the very moment that he began appearing on the national scene, has shown the promise of a great champion. I read his name in a few releases that came out of Texas, small, insignificant tournaments, and I saw it at the top of the list several times. Mike Baldoza, and I'd never met him. And then we went to Washington, D.C. for the National Championship back in 1969. Mike was an amateur then, and I had occasion to watch him putt in that tournament. And the attention was drawn on him just constantly because he went on to win the first national amateur title that he ever competed for. We marked him then for greatness. Those of us who follow the sport said this has got to be one of the great young putters in this nation, and Mike has lived up to every expectation that we've ever had of him. He's now playing for the world title. Mike, how does it compare with back in Washington when you were playing for just a trophy?
Don, there's a lot of pressure here. We've developed just me and Charlie now in the finals. There's a lot of tension, and I believe both of us have a lot of confidence, and one of us is going to walk away with the world championship title.
Will you be terribly disappointed if you go home without it?
No, sir. I'm just very fortunate to be here, and $10,000 is really fine.
Now, that's just the kind of attitude that might enable this young putter to upset the veteran pro. He says that 10,000 is more money than he's ever had at one time, and so perhaps he will not be under the ominous pressure of the great over $1,000 a hole difference that they're playing for. And what a pro he has to play. The man who last year went to the World's Finals, Charles McIntosh. Charlie, last year you had the job of playing Ricky Smith. Ricky had won the World Putting Championship twice. He won it twice in defeating you last year in the finals. He was runner-up the previous year. This year, we don't have Ricky Smith to contend with. He was eliminated earlier in the process. But we've got young Mike. Do you feel that against an old veteran pro like Ricky, the leading money winner, when you lost last year, now you've got the young pro coming on, are your chances better? Do you feel any more confident?
As far as putting ability goes, I don't think my chances are any better, but as far as my mental game goes, getting rid of Ricky Smith is a lot on my mind earlier, and I think that my mental game is going to be a lot better. I don't have to worry about Ricky anymore. Now they've got to beat me.
Last year, how much money did you win for finishing second in the World Championship?
$5,000.
Can multiply it 10 times this year.
I hope to.
Well, have you analyzed the aspect of this, and I'm not trying to add any pressure because both of you are hearing this dialogue, of $1,000 a hole. The difference between the first and second place is over $1,000 a hole. Will that make the hole grow a little smaller?
I don't think so. I'm just gonna worry about from the tee mat to the hole. That's only 30 feet. I don't know how many dollars it is to the hole, but I know it's 30 feet. That's
now
all
you
I'm
know
worried about.
we could work that out. It's 30 feet, $1,000 difference. That's about 30. That's $300 a foot. Something. I don't know. It's going to be an exciting match, and won't you join us right after this message for the World Putting Championship Finals?
On the tee to start one of 36 holes. Straight putt, 26 feet long. The cup is on a 3-inch incline. Charlie McIntosh, Decatur, Georgia, strokes it. It might roll down a little bit too strong. It goes up the top incline, Ken, and he didn't want that putt at all, I'm sure. I was hoping that it rolled back down.
Steve, I think his first here we might see a little bit of nervousness and a little bit of tension. The putt is going to reflect in the putting, I think.
This is a missable putt, and he missed it, Ken.
Yeah.
That's bad trouble, bad trouble. It opens the door for Mike to go one up because he'll like it and get a safe deuce. This is a long putt back up. Charlie McIntosh, 32 years old, from Decatur, Georgia. And he's going to take a 4, Ken.
Well, this is this, Dave. This is something these guys are playing for $40,000 difference in prize money. You're going to see some tension at first until one of them settles down, finds the stroke, and then you're going to really see some high putting because these are probably the two finest putters in the world this year.
I agree. Charlie was talking with me before, Ken. Mike Baldoza from Fort Worth, Texas, and he lags for a safe 2. It's going to roll back down with a little 1.5, 2 foot tap in.
And he's going to get his par 2, as 2 is par on every hole in the PPA. Par 36 for 18 holes.
And Mike Baldoza is one up after the first hole. You know, Ken, for those viewers who are not familiar with match play competition, the scoring is based upon the total number of holes won. Match play is played hole by hole. Each hole is a match within itself. The pro taking the least number of strokes on a particular hole wins that hole. And Mike knocks it in for his ace, Ken.
Charlie can't afford to go 2 or 3 down to this young man. Minnie Mex from Fort Worth, Texas, right away because he's too good a putter. And if Minnie Mex gets his confidence, I think he'll hold the whole show.
Ken, in talking with Charlie was saying that if he had to play anybody, Charlie is tunning it, Ken. That's 2 in a row. Just blew it and goes 2 down after 2 holes. Boy, I tell you, Charlie timed that one, but he was talking with me earlier, and he said, you know, if I had to play somebody, I'd love to play Baldoza because he's either going to do one of 2 things. He's going to deuce out on every hole, or either he's going to get hot and ace. So either I know I'm going to win, or I'm going to know I'm going to lose. Yeah. All those so far is acing. He's not deucing. Ooh, he got a bad break there, Ken. Bad break.
Yeah, that ball could have gone very easily in the hole. Charlie's going to have an opportunity here because he should, with the decent putt, ace this hole. Valdos of the Mini Mex from Fort Worth, Texas. Terrific competitor, terrific stroke. And he gets his par, too. His 2 is par on every hole in the PPA. 18 holes, par is 36. Charlie McIntosh is 2 down. Charlie's going to try to go in the front door with this thing.
He missed the putt. He missed the putt, Ken.
He's very dissatisfied. Charlie is known to get down at first. You know, it just seems like it takes him a few holes before he can get himself going. And he's been as many as 5 down before in these matches with 5 to go and come back and win. Some unexpected Mike Valdos will be up 2 holes after 3. Of course, we've got a lot of holes left. We got, counting this one, 33 holes left, David, and this is a long way in the championship match. Just think, though, every hole is worth a little over $1,100.
He knocks it in the cup again, Ken. You know, the odds were that Charlie, with his experience and the fact that he was calm, was going to take this, but the way Mike Valdos is putting, he's going to make us wrong and make everybody else wrong. He's been putting odds on this match. Odds being simply that with the experience and with the putting ability Charlie has, he's going to take it. Now, Charlie needs to get his putt. He's charged it. Ken, I didn't think he was going to make that, but he gets his ace to remain 2 down.
Well, this looks like it's turned out to be a match of youth and talent versus age and experience, and we'll just have to see what comes out on top. This is an interesting hole. This is when you have one of the harder hits on the whole golf course. Has to go back to the back rail, just missing the loop. Off the back rail, down into the loop to go into the hole. And he's hit a good putt. If he continues to do this, it's going to just put a tremendous amount of...
From Columbus, Ohio, the Professional Putters Association presents to you the finals of the 1975 World Championship of the Professional Putters Association. An 18-hole match will be played here today. The winner will receive $50,000 and the world title. And while the emphasis has been on the professional sport, during the same time that competition has been taking place, there has also been competition in the world of amateur putting. The young man on my left, Quincy Scarborough from Fayetteville, North Carolina, emerged victorious in the match play that concluded yesterday. He is the world amateur putting champion. Quincy, congratulations to you. That's quite an accomplishment. There are thousands of young amateurs, over 2,000 members of the Amateur Putters Association in this country alone, and they all wanted that trophy you have. How do you feel about winning it?
Well, I think it's just great, and that I'm really glad to win this honor.
It is quite an honor, and the thing that makes it rather unusual is Quincy's hometown is Fayetteville, North Carolina, where this sport had its beginning. He is the 4th man to win a world or national amateur title from that city, more than any other city in the system that contains over 1,000 courses all over the world. Congratulations to you, Quincy. And now we switch our emphasis to professionalism again. Out on the golf course, we have the people who are going to be participating in this match and those who will be describing it. First, David Lloyd, the president of the Professional Putters Association, who will assist me in the commentary, try to describe the action so that at home you may enjoy the match more. And he does a colorful, excellent job. And next to David, a young lady, Stephanie Adams, Mr. World Putting Queen, who has added her beauty and charm to the festive occasions that have been going on all week and will continue into tonight as we have a banquet celebrating the World Championship for the man that emerges victorious today. And Mr. John Connor, the Vice Chairman of the Pros Players Committee, who has served as the official marshal and judge throughout this event. He is one of the most popular pros in the PPA and one of the authorities on the correct rules of this game. And then the men who will play today. Gary Miller from Atlanta, Georgia, 22 years old, 6'2", 155. He has only won $5,500 in his brief 2-year period as a pro prior to this competition. Today, he hopes to increase his winnings 10 times by moving to $50,000. He's assured of $15,000. And his opponent, the Golden Boy, as he has been dubbed by the newspapers in Columbus, Ohio, possibly because of his golden blonde hair, and possibly because of his golden putting stroke. Dan Anders from St. Petersburg, Florida, who recently won the National Invitational Tournament to receive a right to go to Australia representing this country, and represent us well he did. He finished third in the Australian finals. These men will be competing in 18 holes of match play, going for the World Putting Championship immediately after this announcement. We think you'll find this exciting action. Join us after the announcement's concluded. Out on the tee, Mike Baldoza, the defending world champion, is giving his best wishes to the man who will take his title in just a few moments. And John Connor wishes them well at a moment of great tension for these men. And going to the tee now, Gary Miller, and 18 holes of match play. A quick effort to determine if he can go home with the big money. This is the finals of the World Putting Championship. A straight putt of 22 feet to a cup located on a plateau. He will attempt to putt it straight away. Good follow through. Perfect execution. And he starts with his hole-in-one, and that's the best way possible to start a match. Dan Anders plays this hole in a manner that is very unorthodox. Almost every pro has been playing it straight. He plays a bank shot off of the left rail. He has been having great result with the shot. Not this time. And young Dan picks it up, has a conceded 2. And we move now to hole number 2. Miller is 22 years old. His wife is Charmaine. She's anxiously waiting for the results of this match. She's in the audience viewing, I'm sure with a lot of tension. The speed must be just right. We were unable to see the shot. Dan Anders wanted to see it more than we did and moved in front of the camera, blocking the shot.
But Donnie tapped it in for his routine par 2. So Anders has got a chance here to pick up a stroke with an ace.
Ooh. Does not. And after last week's match, where he scored 8 out of 9 straight holes in one possibilities, Dan Anders just started off with 2 consecutive pars and is still 1 down after 2 holes. Going now to the 3 hole. This is a hole with a hill that causes some heartaches. The men must putt the ball off of the left rail, barely touching the sideboard, up a hill, and ever so gently moving off of the rail into the cup, which is located at the bottom of a hill. Gary Miller, who's only won $5,500 before today and hopes to increase that dramatically. He moves 2 under after 3 holes. You can cut the tension with a knife. Both men are very uptight. But they still putt with the abilities that they've achieved with great practice through the years. This match is being brought to you by the Professional Putters Association of America in cooperation with the Professional Putters Association of Europe, Australia, and Africa. The worldwide organization of professional putters who combine their talents and abilities to sponsor national and international competition. And these are the 2 finalists. Gary Miller moves 3 under par after 4 holes. The youngsters carrying the scoreboard's a member of the Junior Putters of America, the little league, if you will, in the world of putting, and they've earned the right to carry the scoreboard by leading their leagues at this stage of the season in their local tournament action. The 3-block hole. The men have had considerable trouble on this hole during the week. There are 3 blocks that block their path to the cup. They must go off the left rail, past the 3 blocks, and into the cup if possible, and that is a hole that I'm sure Gary breathes a sigh of relief on. You can get into an awful lot of trouble if your angle is just incorrect by a fraction of an inch on this hole. And Dan tops him. And this is the type of championship play, David, that we expected of these men in this match.
Don, you're so correct, because both of these men have been putting so well all week long. They're both excellent putters. Dan's got to get the honors, though. He can't keep topping and get ahead. He's one down at this point, and I'm sure he's thinking about that. He'd like to get honors back.
Once again, we come to a hole we've described week after week. They must miss the left rail by perhaps an inch or an inch and a half. There is a hill that moves from right to left, and you must barely negotiate that opening to accomplish those results, and he is stroking the ball on target as well as I have ever seen him play. He is 5 under after 6 holes. And folks, if you think this is easy, just pick up a putter and try it. Ooh. And Dan once again lips a cup, and he goes 2 down to Gary Miller. The favorite going into this tournament in the minds of the gallery was Dan Andrews because of his almost unbelievable streak. During one elimination match early in the week, he played 18 holes with a 10 on the front, a 10 on the back for a 20, the lowest score shot out of the thousands of rounds played in the match play competition. This is a hole in which they cannot hit the ball straight at the cup. There is a hill that moves from right to left. There is an obstacle on the left. They must force the ball off of the left rail, up the hill, and then back off of the hill, and their speed must be perfection. Holding at 5 under par, an opportunity now presents itself. Dan Andrews wants this putt to move to within 1. Watch the flow of the ball. Left, hill, left, back rail, cup. He's 1 down. Gary Miller is 5 under par. Dan Andrews is 4 under par. And 1 hole separates them. Here, it takes courage. They must play this ball to within 1 inch of an obstacle that is 22 feet from them. If they're an inch or 2 inches to the right, they hit that obstacle and move into serious trouble. Ooh. The obstacle bothered him. He stayed too far away. He missed his line there by perhaps 2 inches and settles for par 2. Dan Andrews. An opportunity for Gary Miller with this putt to go 2 up again. And he seizes that opportunity. These men are playing on the PPA National Championship course. This course was built through the combined efforts of 3,000 professionals, 2,000 amateurs, hundreds of PPA member course owners. All profits derived from this golf course in terms of green fees go directly into the tournament fund of the Professional Putters Association to enhance the prize money that these men play for year after year. And it's built for championship competition. Gallery bleachers, which is the first time in the history of the putting world that arrangements have been made for spectators. And the bleachers have been filled throughout the week, and Gary Miller is red hot. He's 7 under after 9 holes. Dan Andrews will play a bank shot on this hole. Gary Miller played it straight. He had a hole in 1. Andrews with a bank shot. He catches a lip and does not have a hole in 1. Andrews holds at 4 under par through the front 9. He is 3 down, and the last 9 holes of this match promises some great action after this announcement. The players have had a halftime break now. The cameras have been repositioned, and they're moving into the most important 9 holes they've ever played. Gary Miller is in a commanding 3-up position. He knows he'll have to make a lot of mistakes in order not to win, and he's just made his first one. This is a hole in which the men would expect to score a hole-in-one. Young Gary, who has only won $5,500 prior to this tournament event, would like to move it to $50,000. And I'm sure the timeout at the end of 9 did not help his nerves any. And Dan takes advantages of the rest and has probably thought about what he was doing wrong and drops a hole-in-one, and he is now only 2 down. A difficult hole, one that presents trouble if you miss your first shot. The cup is on a plateau. They'll move the ball from the tee. He's playing it out of the 3-hole on the tee. There are 7 holes across the face of the tee, and the players select the one that gives them the best advantage. Strokes an almost perfect putt. It took a look in and decided not to fall, and that has to be a bitter disappointment to Dan. So well executed. He just did not quite hit it hard enough. This is an exciting gallery. Gary Miller said before the match, total concentration is important. He applies total concentration and gets his hole-in-one, and he moves back to 3 up, and there are only 7 holes remaining. The young JPA, the Junior Putt of America scorekeepers, move into position. The tournament official moves into position. Gary Miller moves to the tee. He's got a difficult putt here. There are 2 hills blocking his path to the cup. Off of the first hill, which is on his right, the ball must rock gently off of the left hill. Sensitive touch required. If all goes well, it'll go off of 2 hills, touch the side rail, and he hopes into the cup. Did not hit it hard enough. And now I know the last hole must come back to haunt Dan Andrews. Once again, he feels he can get a hole-in-one here. He expects it. And the young man with the beautiful smile and the great attitude, he said before the match, if I don't win, that's all right. I've done more than I thought I would. I'll be happy. He's going to try to win and pulls back to within 2 up with 6 holes remaining. Number 13. And 14, the hole that follows this could once again be a pivotal hole. This is a simple hole. Both men expect an ace here. Off of the left rail, soft and gentle. Breaking back ever so beautifully under the cup. So easy for this man, so difficult for most of us. Professional Putters Association World Putting Championship from Columbus, Ohio. $50,000 to the winner. $15,000 to the loser. Quite a spread. And Gary nurses it in. He hit it, and then he wanted to hit it 2 or 3 more times, and he finally just said, please go, and it went. And now Dan Andrews has to make the decision on Big 14. He's 2 down. There are only 5 holes to go. He's been charging this like a lion all week. He's still got the smile on his face. He says if you smile, you stay relaxed. Remember, this is the hole. If he misses the cup, which is located at the top of a second hill on an incline, the ball can roll back 10 or 12 feet. Did not miss it. He got his hole-in-one. And now the question is, will Gary Miller lag for a 2 to maintain a 1-up advantage, or will he play it safe? He's making a decision now. He's trying to decide, what will I do? Will I go in to number 15, 3 up, 1 up, or do I charge this and take a chance on no decision, a simple ace? And I guess I wasn't thinking correctly. He had to charge it. He had nothing to lose. He had to top him. It's match play. Just as they make a mistake, we make a mistake once in a while, David. That was not a decision. It was automatic. He had to go for it. A left rail shot to a cup that's hidden behind an obstacle in the center. The cup's located 24 feet away on an incline.
Beautiful.
Perfection.
Absolutely beautiful.
Dan is playing simply great. He is 9 under par. The only problem is Gary Miller is 10 under. And reaching out for number 11 here. Gary Miller, Atlanta, Georgia. He works with his putter to execute 11 under par after 15 holes, and that's just almost too much for anybody to handle. And he continues 2 up, going into 16. This is the touch putt. 16, tender 16. A very soft putt. Straight away. It looks like he's pushed it, and he has pushed it badly. Dan will be forced to settle for a 2 here with a tap in, and he does. And Gary Miller could close this match out with this putt. He is now 2 up. There are only 2 holes remaining after this hole. This putt could be worth $35,000. And all dreams of golden boy Dan Andrews will have vanished. And he has it, and Gary Miller is the world putting champion. He has achieved a victory, an upset over Dan Andrews. Quite an outstanding accomplishment for this young man who prior today had won only $5,000, and now he has won $50,000. And we'll be back to talk to this exciting winner and this disappointed loser just after this message. The World Championship has been concluded, and in order to hold an event of this magnitude, we need perfect playing conditions. This week we've enjoyed the hospitality of our managing pro on this golf course, young Joe Aboyd on my right. Joe, may I thank you on behalf of the Professional Putters Association, on behalf of all of the players, for presenting to us a beautiful golf course to play on. Congratulations, and we'll be looking forward to coming back to your course another time soon. Thank you, Joe. And we need a good marshal, a man who knows the rules, and the very respected Vice Chairman of the Pros Players Committee, John Connor, who has gone around with the players throughout the 7 weeks of competition. John, thank you for your assistance, and tell me, John, while you were, before today, the number 4 all-time money winner, though you've never won a national tournament, you've dropped down a little bit now to number 5, maybe number 6. Any comment about these young horses coming on?
I think it's number 6, Don. I think Miller and McIntosh moved ahead of me. But the competition is really keen now, and they showed it right there today when they shot 12 and 10, 11 under apiece. Super
great. John, thank you for your serving as marshal during this week. This is the most respected pro in the Professional Putters Association in terms of his knowledge of the rules and regulations of this game. Well, we come to another time now. Dave? It's been a lot of fun talking about this week, and I guess these fellas sort of wish we'd go ahead and give them some money, but what's been the most impressive thing to you in this competition, all through the 190 men being eliminated down to 8, and then the weeks of match play that have occurred? Do you see any noticeable thing about the change in the Professional Putters Association or the players in it?
Don, I think, number one, the caliber of the pros has certainly improved, especially among the younger pros, but more importantly, the sportsmanship, the smiles, the congratulations to the losers. I think the losers to the winners. I just think it's fantastic, the sportsmanship and I guess the togetherness that we now have in the PPA that I felt that we haven't had in the past.
We've got it together.
We got it together.
A couple of players had it together out there. David, it's been a delight working with you on the commentary, and we'll look forward to future years. Now, on behalf of the Professional Putters Association, Dan Andrews the Golden Boy, and today it cooled off just a little bit. You shot absolutely perfectly. You ran into a man who played 16 holes. In the 16 holes, he aced all but 4 of them. And that's a bit much to handle. But this check for $15,000, second place, and as I understand it, Dan, that brings your winnings to this week to over $21,000.
Thank you very much. I'd just like to say that I played against Gary earlier in the year, and I ran up against the same thing against him. He's a fantastic putter, and he deserves to be a world putting champion.
Thank you, Dan, and we'll be looking forward to having you back again on future championships. Dan, we have one little thing here that you may take home, a little memento if you have the strength to pick it up. It's a trophy that can adorn your den or your home in any fashion you like that says to the world that you are a runner-up in the World Championship. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Gary, we have a tapestry that was made especially for you, and it's this tapestry that the pros have been looking at all week, and it says 1975 Professional Putters Association World Champion. So today and tomorrow and your children and for many years to come, I hope this will adorn your home or your den and tell those people who might not have shared this experience with us today that you are the world champion. Gary has elected, for tax purposes prior to competition, that if he won this championship, he would take his prize money at the rate of $10,000 per year, which was his option. Therefore, your first check for $10,000, you have $10,000 coming for 5 successive years for a total of $50,000. Congratulations, world champion. This young man asked us if we would keep this ball, which won the tournament, and it will go among the mementos that we are collecting to establish the Hall of Fame for the world of putting. And this PPA number 2 will be among those balls that we have collected for the future. We hope you have enjoyed the World Putting Championship. We'll begin next week a series of tournaments to select the men to play in the World Championship next year. The tournaments will be held throughout America. We hope you can see them locally, and perhaps some friend of yours might be back next year to challenge this man for the World Putting Championship.
Rail,
Looks good.
the cup.
Uh-oh. That had to put a little lump in his throat because he knew he just has to have these putts or church will be out very soon from the young man from Dallas. He said to me during the halftime, he said, I guess I'm a has-been. I'm over the hill at 21.
Don, with only 7 holes remaining, he can't afford to go 5 down here. He just cannot. He must deuce this putt. And he does.
Well done. The winner of this match will meet 3 weeks from now, Larry Mason, who last week won the first of the quarterfinal matches. Larry is the lefty from Fredericksburg, Maryland, and the winner of this has quite an opponent waiting in the wings. 2 hills, rocking off the right hill, the left rail, the right rail, and he hopes into the cup, and he's showing us what it's all about.
He sure is. He's getting him hot out there. Gary's been playing an excellent round. Good speed, good touch. Gerald said at your interview at halftime that the wind was bothering him a little bit, and maybe so, but it doesn't seem to be bothering Gary all that much.
It's good to like a quarterback in a game. When you make a pass, you've got confidence in your passing game. He's now 5 down with 6 holes remaining to be played.
Don, it could be Domi right here. 5 down with 6 to play.
Could be closed out right here.
Very, 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 very true.
The PPA
World Putting Championship, $300,000 from Columbus, Ohio. A quarterfinal match, $10,000 to the winner, $4,000 to the runner-up. Only 2 matches away from $50,000. And if Gerald Knott misses this putt, this match will have been concluded very early. As a matter of fact, if he misses this putt, it will be the greatest defeat anyone has ever suffered. The match will have ended the earliest, but he did not. And we continue on with 5 holes to play. Gary is 5 up. If he scores this hole in 1, there'll be a sad, disillusioned Gerald Knott and a very happy Gary Miller with $10,000 in his pocket. Any hole in 1 on the remaining holes, and Gary cannot lose.
Don, do you think he's going to try to charge his putt for an ace, or do you think he'll lag it for his dues?
He lagged. This is the most difficult hole on the golf course. And he knows that all he needs is 1 hole in 1, and the match is concluded. And this is an unbelievable turn of events. Gerald Knott was the definite favorite going into this match. He was picked by many here to win the World Championship and to go all of the way.
Talk about pressure, Don. He's got it on him right now.
And he scores a hole in 1, and he cuts it down to 4 with 4 to go. The match is dormant, but that is beautiful pressure putting. The most difficult hole on the golf course, and Gerald aces it. We now come to a hole on which you will attempt to putt the ball from the tee off of the left rail to a cup that's located on a hill directly behind the pipe. The cup is blocked by the pipe. He must have it. This is tension for these young men, David. The amount of money involved is an awful lot of money at this age.
And he aced it now.
Super putting.
Pressure putting, and it is excellent pressure putting for Gerald Knott. He's got to ace.
During this week of competition in the world, and matches already concluded, young Dan Anders from St. Petersburg has won over $11,000, and he'll be appearing on this show 2 weeks from now as he plays his first quarterfinal match. And if he goes all the way, he will have won $61,000 in one tournament competition. And this match is concluded, and Gary Miller moves into the next bracket against Larry Mason. That show will be coming on 3 weeks from now, with the winner having been assured of $10,000, moving for $15,000 and the right to play in the finals. And we'll be back to talk about next week's show and to talk to these players after this announcement. When you're a young man and you're only a few minutes away from $10,000 and you see it fade away, it hurts. And right now, Gerald's feeling the pain. And Gerald, a $4,000 check, which should lessen the pain just a little bit. This young man played so beautifully all week long. He eliminated so many great putters to arrive at this moment, and he was only 2 steps away from the big purse, the $50,000. And any final comment?
Well, all I can say is Gary's going to get there.
Gary's going to get there. Well, bless your heart. And if he putts like he did today, Gary will be back in 3 weeks to play against Larry Mason, the left-hander who won last week's match. And that promises to be an exciting event. Both men were putting in the match last week and today almost identically, and perhaps we'll see some real action on that occasion with a tight match. And to play in next week's match, moving in, Wesley Beck. Wesley, your first time on television. Wesley Beck from Atlanta, Georgia. Wesley's all-time money winnings to date. He's only been putting as a pro for a short number of years. He's won $7,000. And going against Wesley Beck is Charles McIntosh from Cincinnati, Ohio. Charles is a graduate student. Charles is a graduate student studying at the University of Cincinnati now. and he is a super putter. For last year, he went to the finals of the World Putting Championship before losing. The year before, he went to the finals. The first time any man has earned the right to appear in this series for 3 consecutive years. Wesley, no bad words intended. You're going against the favorite next week, the man that should capture the entire tournament. Any comments?
He hits it real good.
He hits it good,
Right.
and you've been hitting it great this week. You beat Bill Boss yesterday to earn this right with a super match. And we hope you'll be back next week as we continue our search for the world's greatest putter. This is the World Putting Championship coming to you from Columbus, Ohio. We will have 4 more weeks of matches, and then we will know the winner. The Professional Putters Association, in cooperation with over 1,000 member courses throughout this nation and 3 foreign countries, has presented to you the World Putting Championship. Join us again next week. Under a bright, almost cloudless sky, the flags are flying, a brisk wind is blowing. The gallery is waiting in Columbus, Ohio for the beginning of the World Putting Championship quarterfinal match. This is Don Clayton. We are bringing to you a quarterfinal match today in the World Putting Championship from the PPA Masters course in Columbus, Ohio. This is a championship course built for putting masters to display their great putting ability. On my left, David Lloyd, the president of the Professional Putters Association, the man who oversees the activity of this sport throughout this country and the several foreign countries where we have participating affiliated bodies. On his left, John Connor, the vice chairman of the Professional Putters Association Pros Players Committee, who will serve as our tournament marshal and official today. He will accompany the players as they make their rounds over 18 holes of match play. Dave will be assisting me in the commentary as we try to describe to you what we believe will be a great exhibition of putting ability. The men who are playing today are the survivors of 192 people who assembled in this city a week ago. They all came because they were champions. They had won tournaments held throughout this country. They came from as far away as Africa and Australia to compete here for the world title. This trophy will be given to the winner. He will take it home to display in his den, to show his children and the people through future years that he was the 1975 world champion of the Professional Putters Association. To accompany that trophy, he'll have another little memento, $50,000. Today, we're in a quarterfinal match. Gary Miller will be playing Gerald Knott. Both of these men have already won $4,000. The winner will advance to meet last week's winner, Larry Mason. He will also be assured of no less than $10,000. To tell you a little bit about these young men who are anxiously waiting to go to the tee, on my right is Gerald Knott. Gerald's from Dallas, Texas. He's 21 years old. He's 5 feet 10. He has a stroke average of 28.25. That means that every time he tees the ball up on an 18-hole course, he averages 7 holes in 1. Now that's quite an ability. He has played in a number of tournaments before. Once before, because of his ability, he arrived at this position. He played in the World Putting Championship. He won 1 match on television and then lost in the quarterfinals. And his opponent today, from Atlanta, Georgia, Gary Miller. Young mustachioed Gary, who says that the mustache brings him luck. It matches his red hair, and it sort of frightens his opponent. Well, it frightens me a little bit, and let's see if it works on Gerald. He works in the accountant department for the Georgia Power Company, and he plays this sport as a hobby on the weekend. He is a professional, yes, but we only hold small tournaments throughout the year, numerous tournaments to qualify for this major event. Both of these men have won $4,000. After this commercial, we'll be going to the tee to find out who can win this match. We'll be back in 1 moment. And John Connor gives the final instructions to the players and wishes them well. takes his position to judge this match, and they shake hands, and we're ready now to find out which man in a quick 18 holes will pick up $10,000. Gary Miller, making his first appearance in the finals of the World Putting Championship TV series. He told me just before tee-off he was a bit nervous. And perhaps that's what it takes to calm his nerves. This young man attended high school in Columbus, Georgia. He graduated from Jordan High School in 1971. He's 22 years old. He's 6'2", weighs 155. And now, the man who's been here before, from Dallas, Texas, Gerald Knott. Pushed the putt a little too strong. And because this is match play, he goes one down. Takes a 2 on the hole, conceded by Gary Miller. And now to the PPA hole. Here the men will attempt to hit the ball off of the left rail. They hope the back rail, and if the speed is just right, into the cup. If they're a little too strong on this, they will come off with the back rail too heavy. If they're a little too short, the speed is not perfect, they'll pass the cup on the bottom side. And the putt was not a good putt. Definitely too strong and moved far back out of position. And that's unusual, and we'd have to predict at this time that Gary Miller, having a one-shot lead after one hole, a one-hole lead, will lose it right here. Gerald Knott should score a hole in one here. He expects it. And his expectations were answered, and this match is even. Both men 1 under par after 2 holes. The Professional Putters Association each year conducts numerous tournaments to select the field of 192 people to compete in the World Championships. Eliminated during this week were great putting pros from past years, like Vance Randall, Rick Smith, Mike Baldoza. And of the 8 men appearing in the series that's currently being filmed, only 3 have previously appeared. And the old pros are saying the young lions are coming on in this sport as they are in all other sports. And Gerald Knott takes the 2. And one of the young lions, his colorful red hair and his red mustache, young Gary is anxious for this victory. His lifetime money winnings are only $5,500, and this victory is worth $10,000. And that's the way he can get it. And so 3 holes have been played, and there's been a winner on every hole. Dave, that's unusual.
Very unusual, because they're just swapping leads, Don, and normally when a man gets hot, he goes hole after hole after hole, but they've swapped leads now. Gary Miller seems to be settling down. Gerald Knott hit a very bad putt on the last hole. Speed was off. That is a very speed touch putt.
On this particular hole, they'll be putting the ball for 18 feet. It will then drop abruptly. And there's the drop, and then lift up a hill and into the cup if it's perfection, and that is precisely what we have.
Don, that was a supercharged by Gary. It was a charged putt right into the middle of the cup, right, a sweet putt right into the heart.
The young man putting now says attitude is the most important part of the game. And I'm sure it's difficult to maintain a good attitude when you find yourself 2 down after only 4 holes. Gerald is the favorite in this match without any doubt, and what is occurring so far is an upset.
Don, that is so true, because Gerald has had 4 more years as a professional, experience in tournaments after tournaments. And Gary, of course, has only been a pro for 3 years. So odds are that with 4 years more experience, he certainly should take this match.
A very difficult putt here off of the left rail, past 3 blocks into the cup that's just up a hill, and Miller is hot today. That's the kind of putt that puts pressure on your opponent when he's already 2 down, and he knows he has to ace or go 3 down. In a short 18-hole match, the pressure mounts tremendously. He's taken a little longer over the putt than normal. Did not get the results he wanted. Pressed a little. He had to hit the putt too hard to pass it on the left side, and that's precisely what he did. And so we've got quite a margin here, opened up very early. Gary Miller When asked his opinion on the most important thing in developing a good putter, Miller says the most important thing is to be sure and have total concentration and also to practice a lot. He says he practices about 5 hours a week.
This is a sensitive putt, Don, right by the left rail, and he got a backdoor shot on that.
Yes, he did. He lipped the cup as he passed on the right going by, and it threw it back into the cup, and that's Lady Luck smiling. And when you put ability and luck together, that's quite a combination to beat.
And it does take a little bit of luck. The skill is there, but they have to have the breaks.
This is the 14th year of the Professional Putters Association series of televised matches. And the field this year included the greatest number of foreign contestants that we've ever had, and the course seems rather foreign at this moment to Gerald Knott. He is simply not playing up to his capacity at all.
After 6 holes done, he's 4 down, and of course Miller being 4 up with honors, it's looking, I'm sure Gerald is worried about it.
Worried about it, I'd say the panic has set in. $10,000 to the winner out of a total purse of $300,000 being awarded in this year's World Putting Championship.
And he went by the cup on the left on. He's got a little deuce tap in for his par, which is par 2 is par on every PPA course, on every hole, par 36 for 18 holes. And he makes his deuce, routine tap in.
We asked Miller prior to the beginning of the match why he decided to become a professional putter. And he's been a PPA pro now for 3 years. He said, I had a lot of friends that are pros and I saw a chance to win some money, and he's showing today that he's going to accomplish the purpose that he set out to accomplish. And Gerald continues to putt very poorly for a man of his ability. And perhaps it's the presence of the cameras. He has a tap in here that he should make. It's only about 2.5 feet.
Don, he didn't take advantage of an open door. Gary left him an open door there, and Knott could have aced and gone to only 3 down instead of 4 down, but he did not take advantage. He deuced out, so he is still 4 down to Gary Miller. Gary Miller's 4 up.
The course on which these men are playing in Columbus, Ohio, was constructed by the Professional Putters Association for a tournament competition with gallery bleachers and all of the environment necessary for championship type matches, and that's what we're seeing here. A putt just missed.
Don, I'm sure Gary didn't expect that. That's normally a putt that everyone expects to make. He is still, however, 5 under par after 8 holes.
Gerald has to have this putt to stay in contention. He does just simply is running out of holes and an opportunity to come back, and he gets it and moves to within 3. And now, the difficult number 9. This is the 6th pipe hole that causes so many problems for the casual person who plays the game. Quite often you watch the average amateur playing on this hole, and they'll take a 5 or a 6 or a 7. These men make it look easy because of their great practice and great ability, and Gerald needs all of that ability now.
Ooh.
Too hard. Obviously a lip out. He simply just stroked the ball too hard, and now he's in trouble city. The cup is located on a plateau, and John Connor, our tournament official, checks to see that he has proper distance to allow a putter to be stroked. He does have that distance, and now he has a breaking putt, possibly blocked by the obstacle. Super attempt. Almost got it in. Settles for a bogey.
Gerald, I'm sure, didn't want to lose honors, and it looks like he's going to lose honors because Miller can certainly lag for a 2, or he may charge for an ace.
David, I'd be very surprised if he doesn't just lay this ball up by the cup and go into a 4-up lead heading into the backside. And he lagged it right into the bottom of the cup, and this young man says, I want a victory, and I want a decisive victory, and we'll be back to see if he gets it just after this message. We've been waiting for a few minutes for the cameras to reposition to catch the remainder of this action, and we have an opportunity to say, Gerald, what's happened?
Well, Gary's hitting the ball real good, and I guess I'm just having a little problem with the wind out there right now and have to adjust on the back nine.
The wind is moving the ball on the surface, is it not?
Yes, sir, it sure is.
And that bothers you, but Gary's also moving a little bit. That 12 on the front side was something rather powerful.
Really, it was, you know, what can I say? Everything's going in the cup for him.
Do you think if you could have a 12 on the back, you'd be back in it?
Well, I hope that's the way it can come out, but if not...
We'll find out in just a few moments. Gary, 12 on the front side. If you keep that pace up, you'd be shooting a 24. Have you shot that well during the course of the week's competition?
Yes, sir, I did. I shot pretty well when I played Dan. I don't know what I shot, but I did hit it pretty good then.
You're talking about Dan Andrews, the American-Austrian champion who's just returned from his visit over to Australia where he played in their nationals.
Yes.
You beat him.
Yes, sir.
And that's quite an accomplishment. Let's go to the tee now and see if you can conclude this match, and good luck to both of you as we go into the backside. Gary has the honor here, continuing on hole number 10. He'll attempt to putt this ball off of the left rail, the right rail, and he hopes into the cup. Six holes in one and 9 holes. See if he can get his 7th. And the wind bothered that shot. He's putting directly into the wind and did not hit it as firmly as he should. And now, David, the action for Gerald.
Don, Gary's got to get this putt. He should have a routine tap in, and he does. Gerald Knott's got a lot of pressure on him. He's got an awful lot of pressure on him because he's 4 down going into hole number 10. He cannot afford a mistake. He must get honors back. Honor simply means you're putting first on the tee. He cannot, as long as he's following Gary, he can't get back up. So this is a very important putt for this young pro. And he also...
And Lady Luck is just not moving for him yet. The holes are quickly running out now. A 6-foot putt to a cup on an incline. A knee knocker. And he strokes it into the cup. Has not lost his ability to putt, has simply run into a man so far today that's just been a little hotter than he is. On this putt, the ball will move from the tee to the right rail to a cup that's located on a plateau. He must just miss the pipe about 4 inches to the right. Too far to the right and down the hill and in trouble.
Yes, that's right, Don. He's got a bad putt coming back. He's got a very, very difficult putt. But, you know, it's so funny and so strange to watch these pros. They practice these second putts over and over and over again. And maybe, I'm sure Gary will knock it in. Of course, it's always a knee knocker. As you said a while ago, these are long putts. And he rounded the cup, but he knocked it right in the bottom for his deuce, which is par on every PPA hole. Gerald Knott's got an opportunity to open a door here and ace this hole and only go to 3 down. I'm sure that he's thinking about that right now as he looks at that ball.
From Columbus, Ohio, I'm Chuck Newsom, and I welcome you to the PPA Championship. It's the putting championship of the world, the Masters, if you will. From the past year, putters from all over America and from other nations have been vying for the chance to be here today. It's a really big day. We're the second week along in the championship. Last week, Dick Florin bested Charlie Zini in a heartbreaker for Charlie and a triumph for Dick Florin. Now this week, we have 2 more quarterfinalists meeting in what I promise will be an exciting match. Well, put yourself in this place. Here you are in the quarterfinals. You're against 7 of the other top professional putters in the world. And you're up here into the second flight of the first bracket. Your name is either Bobby Gilmore or Jeff McDonald. Bobby hails from North Carolina and Jeff from far out west out there in Arizona. They're going to meet today to come up with a winning opponent for Dick Florin, who won last week, and they'll be squaring off 3 weeks from today, going into this level and then into the World's Championship, and that World's Championship is worth $10,000. You see the big figures involved on the way up there, right? All right, now it's not just the money, not just a big check with an amount on it, but also two of the greatest putting trophies you'll ever want to see. These are bronze and walnut. This trophy goes to the winner. In our ensuing programs, this is to the runner-up. How about that? Okay? Now, to set the scene out on the actual putt-putt course today, we will turn things over now to the president of the Professional Putters Association, Mr. David Lloyd. David?
Thank you, Chuck. I'm standing with Bobby Gilmore from Burlington, North Carolina, 22-year-old managing pro of that course in Burlington. Bobby, you've got a tough match today with Jeff McDonald from Tucson, Arizona. And you also have the added pressure of knowing that 3 weeks from today, if you win this match, you'll meet Dick Florin, prior world champion and a super pro who showed us a super exhibition of putting last week against Charlie Zini. What are your thoughts today? I mean, what are you thinking about Jeff, and then tell me what you're thinking about Dick Florin.
Well, I'm going to take one match at a time. Jeff's, he's a tough competitor. I've watched him in practice, and he hits them good. I've never played with him before, but I feel like it's going to be a tough match.
What about Dick?
I don't like to look ahead. Take them one at a time.
Great. Take them one at a time. And from the West, we have Jeff McDonald from Tucson, Arizona, a 21-year-old pro of 5 years. Jeff has been putting for 5 years, and he's made it to the Final 8 in the world. Jeff, I'm sure you might have some feelings about that, as well as today's match with Bobby Gilmore.
Well, I'm going to try my best, and I hope the best man wins.
Great. Good attitude, Jeff. And we'll be back for this exciting 18-hole match play right after this announcement. And John Connor, PPA pro from Greenville, South Carolina, our tournament marshal, wishes Bobby Gilmore in the blue shirt, now on the tee from Burlington, North Carolina, well, and he also wishes Jeff McDonald in the yellow shirt from Tucson, Arizona. The best wishes in this 18-hole match play event, ladies and gentlemen. The winner receives and is guaranteed of at least $3,500. Bobby putts number one, and he didn't hit the putt I'm sure that he wanted to hit. This is a straight putt. A putt of 27 feet in length. The cup is on a 2-inch rise at the end of the hole. He's now putting back and got to two is par on each and every PPA hole. We're here at the World's PPA Championship course in Columbus, Ohio. And these men have been playing all week. Jeff McDonald, Tucson, Arizona, on the tee, has been one of them. And he aces and takes a commanding lead with one up after one hole. And based on the way Bobby Gilmore hit the first putt, he may have a long afternoon ahead of him. This is 18 holes of match play. Jeff McDonald is studying the putt on number 2, the PPA signature hole. This hole has an opening on the left side. He will attempt to putt it off the left, through the opening, down to the left rail, to the end of the hole, and into the cup, just like that. And after 2 holes, Jeff McDonald is 2 under par. Bobby Gilmore has now got pressure on him. He can't afford to lose this hole. The pros considered almost an automatic ace. And he aces to go 1 under par after 2 holes, but he is still 1 down going into hole number 3. Jeff has honors, and this is a most important thing in these matches. As you watch them through the weeks, we have this match plus 5 more. Honors is so important psychologically, and Jeff McDonald from Tucson, Arizona, the 21-year-old pro of 5 years, been in the PPA 5 years, needs to keep honors to put the pressure on Bobby Gilmore. Touch putt, and he lipped out and almost rocked back into the cup. The cup is on an incline from left to right, and he had a possibility of rocking it back in. He made his deuce, made his par 2, and now on the tee, Bobby Gilmore from Burlington, North Carolina. He has also been a pro for 5 years. Left rail touch putt, and he aces it. Just about went off the right lip, but put it into the bottom of the cup, and that's all that counts. He has now brought the match back to even, and the all-important honors switched to Bobby Gilmore. Bobby Gilmore has lifetime money winnings of $10,000 compared to his opponent Jeff, who has lifetime money winnings of only 4. I would have to say certainly that Bobby is a strong favorite here because he has been putting excellent. He went by on the right side, hit the back rail, and it did not go in backdoor as he had hoped. stayed out on the left, and he putted it in for his par 2. Jeff McDonald has an opportunity here to bring the match back to his favor in a one-up position. If he aces this putt, it's up a hill, drop off to an incline, back up to the small hill, and it just does stop at the edge of the incline. Bobby would have had a most difficult putt, but it rolled off the 2-inch incline back down onto the open green. He taps it in for his par 2 to remain 2 under par and the match all even. Hole 5 is a very difficult hole, as you can see the 3 rectangles. But Bobby just executed to perfection. He stepped right up and said, look, I'm not going to let these 3 triangles bother me. I'm going to go left rail right up the side of them and into the cup. Jeff McDonald tries to execute the same. He hit the last triangle, which is the inevitable problem on this hole. He takes a 2, and he goes 1 down to Bobby Gilmore as they go to hole number 6. Hole number 6 is a straight putt. It is a breaking putt that is very delicate. Bobby is lining his putt up now, as you can see. He's putting between a hill and the bump board, trying to miss the hill and go into the cup just like that. About a 14-foot putt. Beautiful execution on the part of Bobby Gilmore. And now Jeff McDonald trying to execute the similar putt. And he does. And Jeff goes to still 1 down by topping Bobby Gilmore with the ace. Jeff is 3 under par after 6 holes. Bobby Gilmore 4 under par. Bobby on the tee. Bobby strokes it on number 7. This is a backdoor shot, and he gets his backdoor shot. This is a 2-hill hole. It's a very large mound on the right side of the hole, and they bank it on the left rail, past the triangle on the left rail, back against the left rail again, and into the cup, hopefully. Most likely in a backdoor fashion. Against the left rail, up the hill, back against the left rail. And, oh my goodness, we have a turnaround here because Jeff has missed 2. He is now 2 down, and that is not a good position. Bobby Gilmore can start a charge here, wind up at the end of 9 with at least a 2-up lead or possibly more, because Bobby would definitely expect to ace this particular hole. This is a short putt of only 24 feet, a very delicate, soft putt, as you can see, rolling towards the cup. And he lips out. Totally unbelievable. Bobby, I'm sure, can't believe that. He hit a soft putt. He thought he had it, and it just didn't fall. And he puts it in for his routine par 2 and remains 5 under par after 8 holes. Jeff says to me that practice is the most important factor in his game, that he practices consistently and constantly in Tucson, where the PPA facilities open 12 months a year, and that's the fruits of practice right there. An ace to move the match to only 1 down going into hole 9. And most important honors. This could affect Bobby Gilmore mentally because Jeff has just won a hole. If Jeff aces 9, Bobby then is forced to ace 9 or lose his lead and go back to even at the end of hole 9. Bobby has a 1-up lead on Jeff now, and Jeff is on the tee. He'll be putting straight down the fairway up a 2-inch incline, up another 2-inch incline to the cup on a plateau, hoping it goes in the hole, and it just squeaks by, Beautiful speed on the part of Jeff McDonald. A little bit off target, but for a 27-foot putt, that's not bad. He takes his par 2, and I'm sure Bobby Gilmore is breathing a sigh of relief right now because he can at least hope to maintain his 1-up lead going into the end of hole 9. Up an incline, the second one, and into the cup. That's called a roll around. He rolled it right in. And he finishes hole 9 at 6 under par, 2 up. And we'll be back to talk to these men right after this message.
And welcome to the
and welcome to the World Putting Championship, as you can see by our sign, in sunny Columbus, Ohio. We're at the $250,000 World Putting Championship event and the second quarterfinal match with a fantastic match going on. Jeff McDonald, you've just finished 9 holes. Tucson, Arizona, the west against the east. You're 2 down, 4 under par after 9 holes. What do you think about the back 9? Can you pull it out?
Yeah, I think I can pull it out.
You're confident?
Yes.
That's great. And Bobby Gilmore leading after 9 holes, 2 up, 6 under par. Bobby, an excellent 9 holes. You only missed 3 aces out of 9 holes, which is super putting. The average person watching perhaps says, you know, that's almost impossible. But I guess, what does it take, Bobby? What does it take to get to that degree of putting?
Oh, I don't know. A lot of practice. I'm hitting them fairly good. I got off to a shaky start, but I've got my confidence now on this back 9. I feel like I can knock them in and take the match.
Great. Let's go knock them in right now on hole number 10, and we hope you will enjoy the back 9 of this exciting 18-hole match play. Please tee up, gentlemen.
And it is a very confident Bobby Gilmore who picks up the second half here with a 2-up lead over tall Jeff McDonald from Tucson. Bobby representing the University of North Carolina, if you want to get intercollegiate about it, a student at the branch in Charlotte, North Carolina, and Jeff from the University of Arizona. Both of these young fellas enthusiastic about the game of golf and about the art of putting. That was an up, but not the bullseye that Bobby wanted it to be on that shot as we open up on the 10th. The par 2 is made, and now tall Jeff McDonald stands over the ball, concentrates, gets that magic touch already.
Chuck, both of these men sounded very confident.
They sure did.
Jeff puts it on the left rail, clearing the right obstacle, hopefully up the incline. And this is 2 weeks in a row now we've seen this identical putt missed on the right side, and they evidently are hitting it early. This is a bank shot, which the pros do not really like. They like to putt them straight. As the viewers will see in later holes, there's some beautiful straight putts with breaks. Jeff gets his par 2, which is par on each and every PPA hole, par 36 for 18 holes. This particular course, Chuck, has a professional par of 30, which is derived by the PPA from computer printouts of tournament results, and that the pros average 30 strokes for 18 holes. And Bobby committed something that you never do, and that is to lag a putt. He had a beautiful line on it, but he lagged it.
What do you think this will mean in the outcome of the holes that follow, David?
Well, Jeff is going to take advantage, I'm sure. He certainly won't leave it short. I think Jeff will, well, he's hitting with good speed, but he's off the mark. He hit it with good speed, but Jeff definitely wasn't going to leave it short like Bobby. It's unforgivable in the PPA to lag a putt, especially when you're leading and you've got honors. But it looks like it really didn't affect Bobby that much because Jeff didn't let the open door help him at all. So Bobby still has honors. And on hole number 12, an interesting hole. It has 2 hills, one on the right and one on the left, as you can see looking down the fairway now. And Bobby will play off of both of these hills, right, left, break over to the right, to the cup. This is what I meant, Chuck, when I was saying that we have some beautiful straight holes that these pros truly enjoy. The break's on, and they really enjoy practicing this particular hole. And now it's up to Jeff. He can't afford to drop to 3 down. He's already 2 down after 11 holes. He must ace this hole. And he aced it, as they say, through the back door. He dropped it in from the top, which is not the perfection putt, but it got into the bottom of the cup, and that's all that counts. So after 12 holes, Bobby Gilmore, now on the tee, is 7 under par, 2 up on his opponent, Jeff McDonald from Tucson, Arizona. Bobby says his concentration is the most important thing in his game. And this 14-foot putt, oh, look at that speed, Chuck. Excellent.
Look at that.
Bobby Gilmore has got a super touch, and I would predict right now and go out on a limb that if he keeps putting like he is with the stroke that he has, there's no way Jeff McDonald can stop him.
Bobby said he would like to be a singer. Maybe if he wins today's match, he will favor us with a song or two, huh?
But look at Jeff McDonald. He is topping Bobby Gilmore.
Coming back.
He's not letting him gain another stroke on him. But the holes are slowly running out. After 13, Bobby Gilmore is still 2 up. And on number 14, this is a thinking man's hole, in that the cup is on an incline, and then at the end of the hole, the cup is on a rise, as you can see. And he charged it for the ace.
He sure did.
The thinking part comes in whether you're simply going to lag it and lay it up for a simple deuce or you're going to charge it for the ace. And Bobby said, I'm going for the ace. I'm going to go 3 up here if Jeff McDonald can't ace it. And I'm going to take this match on home with only 4 holes after this particular hole. But Jeff says, no, you're not going to run away with it. I am 7 under par after 14, Mr. Gilmore, and you may be 2 up, but you're going to have a hard time holing out here. We have 15, 16, 17, and 18. These are straight putts, breaking putts, and they're always enjoyable to watch. On hole number 15, Bobby Gilmore with a 2-up advantage, 9 under par after 14 holes. A super touch. A lot of pros have been talking all week that this man may take the world title home with him. And it off the left rail, he hopes into the cup. He misses it on the left side. Bobby simply hit it a little bit too late on the rail and did not get the angle off the rail that he wanted. He will try to tap it in for his par 2 and does so.
Now, David, does Jeff McDonald have to gamble with this shot? Does he have to charge this hole?
Jeff, I would say in predicament that he is in, he must charge. He's got to go for the ace, Chuck. If he doesn't, the hole's are running out. So that's simple. There are 3 after this one. So I would say he has to charge. But he didn't.
He
rolled in.
He made it.
But it looked like he just knocked it down there and walked behind the putt. It wasn't hardly off the tee mat. He now moves to only 1 down, and the all-important honors on the last 3 holes. Jeff McDonald, very confident. Because when he putted that ball, did you notice? He wasn't even off the mat before he was walking behind it. He knew it was going in the hole.
His follow-through just went all the way down to the cup, didn't it?
Right. In fact, he almost beat the putt down. This is a straight putt, 24 feet in length. You can see it breaking, left, right, but beautiful speed and into the bottom. And he moves to 9 under par. Chuck, that's not a bad round for 16 holes. Bobby Gilmore will try to execute the same putt. And he does. And he moves to 10 under par with a 1-up advantage. But the killer hole is here. Hole number 17. This particular putt is usually made in 2, this particular hole. It is not an ace hole. Most pros simply lag it up on top of the incline. The cup is at the top of a 6-inch incline. The putt breaks drastically from right to left, as you can see right about now. Tremendous break. And you've got a pipe in the corner, as you can see there, and if they get behind the pipe, they're in tremendous problems and normally take a 3. But it looks like Jeff will have a chance at his 2. This is a difficult putt, Chuck. He's got to come back down. The cup is at the edge of an incline. If he runs by it just a fraction of an inch, it'll go all the way back down the fairway. But he held it and got his par 2. But he needed an ace there, and I think Bobby will probably try to get his ace and close this match out. 2 up with 1 to play. That would be my prediction at this moment. Bobby Gilmore, Burlington, North Carolina. Watch this action. And he does.
And he does.
I'd like to take a little pause here to introduce to you Mr. Sakamoto, the 16-year-old national champion from Japan. Mr. Sakamoto is in America for the first time. He does not speak English, and we have his interpreter, Mrs. Keiko Panter. And I'd like to ask Mr. Sakamoto what he thinks of the American PPA and the American pros.
アメリカの PPA の印象を聞かせてくださいますか。
私が思っていたよりもこちらの方はとてもうまく、私はびっくりした。
I was very surprised. You players are so professional, more than we thought they were.
Well, I must say that Mr. Sakamoto was most professional. He upset Darrell Freeman, national champion from 1973 in his first round, and he putted super. And we welcome you to America, and we look forward to having you back, Mr. Sakamoto. And what a match we had today. Fantastic putting by 2 young pros. You know, it's great to see young talent out there, talent that has practiced and practiced and practiced to make it work. And Bobby Gilmore made it work today. But, Jeff, you didn't give him an easy time. Let me put it that way. You gave him a hard time. The match was 2-1. You went all the way through hole 17. You aced some beautiful putts. You topped him all the way through the back 9. And you have nothing to be ashamed about. But what are your thoughts after today's match?
Well, I got beat by the best man, and I hope he goes all the way.
Well, that's great. I'm sure Bobby feels that same way, and I'm going to talk to him about that in just a minute. As a consolation check, I'd like to present you with $1,500, Jeff. I'm sure that'll make your defeat a little bit more
next week to you. We look forward to seeing you in future years, Jeff, because at your age and with your ability, I'm sure the West out in Tucson and the whole Western Pro Division will be very, very proud of you. And thank you so much for your participation.
Thank you very much. I enjoy being here.
Bobby Gilmore, the managing pro from Burlington, North Carolina. A fantastic young gentleman that you saw that just putts the ball beautifully. Bobby, what are your thoughts on the match?
Super. Tough competitor. He had me worried back there. He said he was coming back on the back nine, and he was after me. That's for sure.
He was topping you, wasn't
he? I couldn't get away from him.
Well, I was thinking, you know, I predicted after about hole, I think it was 12 or 13, that I said, you know, if Bobby aces on out, it looks like at that time you had a 2-up advantage that you would hole out and everything would be in your favor, as it turned out to be 2-1. But you said before the show that you'd like to take one match at a time, Bobby.
Yeah.
Okay,
right.
You've got Jeff McDonald down.
Now you're coming to Dick Florence.
Now, we've got Mike Pfeiffer, Manuel Serrano next week. We'll be talking with them in just a minute. Then we got Cliff Moose and Ray Browning the next week. And 2 weeks from today, 3 weeks from today, you'll be playing Dick Florence, previous world champion, 13-year veteran.
That makes it tough right there.
What are your thoughts about Dick?
Dick hits some super. He's a super putter, and I'm glad to be here against a former world champion. I think that'll make me get out there and really hit him a lot better, knowing that I'm up against him. So I'll put all I've got into it.
If you had your choice, would you play the match right now or 3 weeks from today?
Let's go 3 weeks from today.
3 weeks from today, more time for practice for Bobby Gilmore. Bobby, fantastic putting. We look forward to seeing you back on the TV series 3 weeks from today against Dick Florence, former world putting champion. We'd like to go out on the course now and tell you about next week's contestants. On the hole, tee is Mr. Mike Pfeiffer. Mike is a 25-year-old pro from Orlando, Florida. We've had 2 Orlando pros on this particular course. Charlie Zini last week, and Mike Pfeiffer, he just rolled it by the cup. Mike is 25 years old. He has $12,000 lifetime money winnings, but he has an excellent opponent. One of the first international champions that we've ever had to make it to the final 8 in the world. Manuel Serrano from Wollongong, New South Wales, Australia, the Australian national champion, now on the tee. He has a smooth stroke. Everybody's been talking about it all week. Just missed it on the left side, but he's a fantastic pro. And we hope you will join us next week because, as you can see, we are in the quarterfinal matches. We have 2 remaining. Mike Pfeiffer, Manuel Serrano, then we go to Cliff Moose, Ray Browning, and from there we go into the $3,500 bracket where these men are guaranteed of $3,500 and hopefully ultimately the World Putting Championship. We hope you've enjoyed today's putting match because the PPA in its 16-year history has tried and endeavored to bring to you the world's best putters. And we think the final 8 this year in the world, and you've seen them last week and today and next week and for the next 5 weeks beyond, you'll see the best putting that is available in the world today. Please join us for the World Putting Championship, $250,000 total prize money. Next week, join us, will you?
Take up the positions on the 10th tee, and this young fellow has startled the putting world from far off Australia to be in this country for a few short weeks, make as many friends as he had, and grant interviews to the press, and be so nice to his fellow competitors is just one great trip for a young, adventuresome lad like Manuel Serrano.
And Manuel, Chuck, did not get the putt he wanted on hole number 10. He has a commanding 3-up lead. However, he simply missed it on the right. Manuel is studying the putt, as you can see from the tee mat. This is a
somewhat of a breaking putt. He probably will elect to bank it off the right side, or he may, he looks like he's going to go straight in. It's such a breaking putt. Many pros bank it off the rail to try to alleviate the break. The cup is on an incline, as you can see. He does go right rail. He decides to. And he gets his par 2. He could not afford to take a 3. We haven't had a bogey in all of the matches. I was talking with Ray at the break, very interestingly, in the National Championship. He played 144 holes. He aced 91 of them.
Wow.
He did not take a single 3. He did not take a bogey. The rest were all 2s. And he aces this hole and brings this match a little bit more in command. He is now only 2 down to Manuel. He is 5 under par after 10 holes. Manuel is 7 under par. But more importantly, as Ray said, honors are psychological. Maybe he's telling his own story. At the break, at the interview, just right past the break, Ray said, if I can get honors and ace, then you can keep your opponent under control. Maybe that's what he's trying to do.
Maybe so. Well, Manuel is certainly one to keep under control when you're trying for a prize this big.
He is something to contend with. Manuel, 17 years old, young pro, on hole 11, off the right rail, up 2-inch incline to the cup, and it drops in.
Look at that.
Ray now is 6 under par, and he's saying to Manuel, I'm not going to give you a thing, my friend. Even though you're visiting us from Australia and you're the Australian national champion, the hospitality has ended. We are in competition. Manuel Serrano on the tee. Very colorfully dressed. Very colorful pros in that country. Up the incline. And Manuel says, Mr. Browning, if you're going to win this match, you're going to have to ace me out all the way through 18. As I said at the interview, Chuck, I think we might have an acing race on this back 9. They're both capable of acing the back 9 without a problem. This is a beautiful hole, hole number 12. It has 2 hills, right-hand side just past the tee mat and the left-hand side. And these gentlemen are going to break it off the right hill, the left hill. Ray Browning hopes to hit the right rail and into the... He simply did not get the bounce he wanted off that rail, and this is a very difficult deuce putt. Ray is studying it now. Ray Browning of Euclid, Ohio. A very long second putt. The cup is on an incline, as you can see, so it makes it even more difficult. And he breaks it in for his par 2. He remains 6 under par after 12 holes. And Manuel Serrano, the door is open to him now on one of the most beautifully designed and played holes in the PPA. The breaks on this particular green the pros love, and they practice this hole a tremendous amount. He wants to break it off the right hill to the left hill and back over against the right rail. Right hill, left hill, right rail, and into the cup. And he moves back to a 3-up advantage. He's 3 up over Ray Browning. And now time is a factor. The holes are running out. Only 6 holes remain, and he is 3 up.
You know, Manuel was very cool, calm, and collected out there, but when he sank that last putt, he jumped about 4.5 inches in the air. Now, if that's indication that he is feeling joyful about the event, so be it, but he's a little happier now, outwardly.
Manuel putts the left rail, 14-foot putt, into the cup. He is 10 under par after 13 holes. He's only missed 3 holes on the whole golf course through hole 13. Ray Browning on the tee from Euclid, Ohio, left rail, hopefully into the cup. And he tops him and he moves to 7 under par, but the important factor is that he is 3 down with only 5 holes remaining. The holes are running out, Chuck. Hole number 14, the thinking man's hole. Manuel has such a commanding lead, but quite honest, that he could think on this particular putt, hey, I'll lag it for a deuce, because the cup is located on an incline 27 feet from the tee mat. And he could say, hey, I'll lag it for my 2. Because if you don't make your ace, it'll roll back down about 3/4 way down the fairway, and it's a long deuce putt back. But Manuel is so confident, I'm sure he'll charge it straight for the bottom of the cup. He does. He hits. He goes up an incline there, and he got it into the cup back door. He goes to 11 under par after 14 holes. He's only missed 3 holes still. A fantastic putter. Only missed hole number 4, number 8, and number 10. He's aced everything else in this match, ladies and gentlemen, and if it looks easy, it is not that easy.
Ray Browning competition, David, he has had 21 ones in 27 holes.
And Ray Browning has just committed a putt that he did not want. He is now 4 down with only 4 holes to play. We have a dormy match here, Chuck.
We do.
It could close out on this hole. If Manuel Serrano, who has honors, aces this putt, it is all over. Manuel is the winner. There's no way Ray Browning can beat him on the remaining 3 holes. Manuel is, as it was just said by Chuck, has aced 21 holes out of 27 played on TV so far.
Would you say he's a young competitor?
17 years old. On the left rail. This could close the match out, ladies and gentlemen, and move him into the finals. And he aces it, and the match is closed out. He is 5 up with 3 to play, and Manuel Serrano aces out and just drills our American national champion, and we'll talk to both of these men following this announcement. What an exciting match, and we hope you are watching. Fantastic match. It was almost an aces races between Ray Browning of Euclid, Ohio, the defending American national champion, and Manuel Serrano, the defending Australian champion from Wollongong, Australia. And the results? Manuel Serrano 12 under par, Ray Browning 7 under par. Ray Browning loses 5 up with 3 to play. Ray, it was a good match. In fact, from the TV booth, it looked like an aces races out there, and you talked at after hole 9 that you wanted to get honors back and you could control your opponent. You got honors back on hole 10, but it just didn't quite work out on the control. What are your thoughts on the match, Ray?
Well, Manuel only missed 3 holes, and on 2 of the holes that he missed, I took advantage and got honors back, but I think the key hole in the match was hole 8 when I had a chance to cut the lead in half, and I failed to convert, and then he took advantage of it, and that was it.
You're correct. Manuel only missed holes number 4, number 8, and number 10, excuse me. He missed 3 holes, and that is unbelievable putting. He has aced, if you will, 22 holes out of 27 holes of TV competition, which is unbelievable. He's only missed 5 holes. So, Ray, quite honestly, you defended your American title well. What are your thoughts for Manuel?
Only the best of luck, and if he keeps on stroking them like that, Dick's going to have a hard time.
Yes, he will. Dick Florin, we'll be talking to Dick Florin in just a minute. Let me give you, for consolation, and I hope this will make your defeat a little bit sweeter, $3,500.
Thank you, David.
Final 4 in the world. Thank you so much, Ray.
Thank you very
Fantastic putting. And what an opponent we have here. Manuel Serrano from Wollongong, New South Wales, Australia. Manuel, you ran away with it again. You beat Mike Feifel on the 13th hole. You closed him out. This match, you were 12 under par, missing only 3 holes. What's the end of this? Now, you meet Dick Florin next week. I tell you, let's take Ray Browning. What about Ray Browning's match today?
Oh, well, what can I say? Well, he got the honors over after the 10th hole, and when he put the 11th hole in, I said, if I don't make this one, it's going to be very close. But I was lucky, and I made it. And then he hit a good putt on the 12th, and it lipped out. And
well, let me ask you, is that why on hole number 12, when you made it, you jumped up, you were almost like a sigh of relief? Were you concerned after he got honors on 10?
Well, I was a little bit, but when I made 12, I thought, well, I've got a good chance now.
A good chance now. Standing beside of me is Manuel's opponent for next week, and what a match we have. We went from 256 pros down to 8 pros to start the TV series, and now we're down to 2 pros. Dick Florin of Atlanta, Georgia, and Manuel Serrano of New South Wales, Australia. Dick, you've got an opponent next week.
Boy, an opponent's a word for it. I've been watching Manuel in his matches, and he's really hitting it tough. As you mentioned, 22 out of 27 holes he's aced, and that's going to be hard to keep up with.
Well, Dick, you've got to defend the honor of the American pros. There are a lot of pros out there pulling for you. And, of course, Manuel is trying to defend the honor of the Australian pros. They have a tremendous pro program in Australia. Now, the interesting thing is that one of these men will win $5,000 and will be the runner-up world champion. The other man will be the world champion and win $10,000 next week here on this station. And more importantly, they win a title and they win the prestige. And, gentlemen, if I could, they win a trophy. This is the winner's trophy. It is very heavy. I won't let either one of you hold it at this moment, but one of you will hold it at the end of the match next week. It is very heavy, and this putter figure was shipped in especially by the Professional Putters Association of Japan and as a gift to the American PPA. And it's a very detailed figure, and it is a very heavy bronze trophy. And I'm going to sit it right here so you can watch it as we close out this match, and I invite you to come back next week for a very exciting 18 holes of match play in the World Putting Championship Finals between Dick Florin of Atlanta, Georgia, and Manuel Serrano of New South Wales, Australia.
From Columbus, Ohio, this is Chuck Newsom speaking and welcoming you to the World's Putting Championship. This, the second week, the semifinal match between two exciting competitors. It's an international match, to be exact. We have the Australian champion with us today, young 17-year-old Manuel Serrano, who hails from New South Wales and far-off Australia. He'll be battling the American champion, tall Ray Browning from Cleveland, Ohio. And that should be quite a match because this, as I say, is a semifinal event. And both of these men are trying for the chance to meet next week the man who is up on this plateau so far, very tough Dick Florin from Atlanta, Georgia. So Manuel and Ray will battle tooth and nail today on a championship course headed for this bracket, headed also for the world's champion 2 weeks away at a top prize of $10,000. We've got the $10,000 checks already ready. We have the trophies all set to go too. This to the winner, this to the runner-up. Walnut and bronze, beautiful trophies. But now, out on the course, a championship course, a beautiful day, perfect conditions. We have the president of the Professional Putters Association to talk to today's contestants. Here is David Lloyd. David?
Thank you, Chuck. And as you said it, we have a match today. The Australians versus the Americans. On my left, Manuel Serrano from Wollongong, New South Wales, Australia, the current Australian national champion. Manuel, you're playing the current American national champion. The national championship, as opposed to the world championship, is a medal play tournament. This is match play today, hole by hole. Does that make any difference to you, Manuel?
Yeah, I think it makes a lot of a difference to the game because you might be able to take a bogey on a hole, but you can still win the game because it's not the strokes, it's how many holes you win.
Correct. Medal play is total strokes, and if you take
right.
a 6 to get in the hole, you got a total of 6. What do you think about your match today? Ray Browning is a tough opponent, as you know. You've seen him putt for the past several weeks. How do you feel about it?
Well, Ray's been putting extremely well for the last couple of weeks, I must admit that, and I think it'll be a really great match. I hope we go right through the 18th hole.
I hope so too. About 3 weeks ago, Manuel didn't go through the 18th hole. He closed the match out on hole number 13, and that's what I want to talk to Mr. Browning about. Ray, you've got an excellent opponent, the Australian national champion. Of course, you're a current defending American national champion, 144 hole medal play tournament. This is match play, 18 holes of match play. What do you think? What are your thoughts? I'm sure you've had to think about this match for 2 weeks now. What are your thoughts right now about Manuel Serrano and Ray Browning?
Well, I think that we'll both go out there prepared mentally, and the course is in perfect condition, so it appears that the man that strokes the ball the best is going to win today, David.
Fantastic. I tell you the truth, it's going to be a fantastic match. And ladies and gentlemen, if you want to see some super putting, if you want to see some pros who know what they're doing with a putter and a ball, and if you want to see the Australian national champion and the American national champion go at it for 18 holes of match play, won't you stay with us? And we'll be back for the first 9 holes of action right after this message. And on the tee, John Connor of Greenville, South Carolina, today's tournament marshal and throughout the World Championship TV series, extends his best wishes to Manuel Serrano. Now on the tee from Wollongong, New South Wales, Australia, and Ray Browning from Euclid, Ohio. Both of these men are national champions, and we're going to talk about that during this show. But let's get the action on hole number 1. This is a 27-foot putt. The ball must climb a 2-inch rise to the cup. The cup is located on a plateau, as you can see there. Manuel Serrano. That's it, aces it. They've almost nicknamed him the Ace Machine. We had Rick Smith, a former world champion, that was nicknamed this, but Manuel Serrano in a match 4 weeks ago just simply was drilling the eyes out of the ball and closed the match out on the 13th hole. Ray Browning of Euclid, Ohio, defending national champion in America, puts the ball up the incline and he pushes it off to the left. And right from the very beginning, as it was against Mike Pfeiffer 4 weeks ago, Manuel Serrano takes a 1-up lead. Is 1 under par going into hole number 2. Manuel Serrano, Wollongong, New South Wales, Australia, a city south of Sydney, Australia. PPA member courses there are identical to the PPA member courses here. And Manuel is the defending national champion. On hole number 2, the PPA signature hole, we'll put it through the left opening of the signature to the left rail, then to the back rail, and hopefully into the cup. Left rail, back rail, and an ace. Ladies and gentlemen, if you will, please watch both of these men's putting stroke. It is fantastic. Manuel has a very, very, very excellent stroke, an excellent follow-through. Ray Browning the same. Follow-through, left rail, back rail, and he aces.
He's in. David, I talked to Manuel, and he said he'd be going home in a few weeks, but he sure felt at home being on a putting course like this because it's identical to the ones he uses in Australia.
The PPA sanctions putting courses for tournament play, and we have courses in Australia, Japan, Africa, England, and Europe, here in America and in Canada. And each course is identical in design and identical to the degree that they look alike, but each hole on each course, while it looks alike, plays differently. This hole, for instance, number 3, plays differently than any other hole perhaps in the world. It is a left bank shot over the hill to a cup on an incline, and Manuel has 3 aces in a row. After 3 holes, he is 3 under par, and Ray Browning is saying, help, what's going on here? Help me. You know, give me a little break here, Manuel. Ray Browning, national champion, now on the tee. He will try to execute the identical putt. Left rail, over the hill. Touched the rail, and he simply went by on the right side. Now he is 2 down to Manuel Serrano after 3 holes, and I'm sure that he did not want this to happen. Ray Browning is just looking up in the sky, saying, what's going on here? This Australian national champion, he has been such an excellent putter in the preliminary rounds from the 256 pros we started with down to the final 8, down to the final 4 now. 4 men left in the world. Last week's match, Dick Florin won, and of course we only have 3. Dick Florin and these 2 men. One of these men will meet Dick Florin. And Manuel misses. He opens
First
a door.
break in the day.
He opens a door. He missed it on the right. Simply will tap it in for his par 2. He will remain 3 under par after 4 holes, but Ray Browning has an excellent opportunity to ace this hole and regain honors, which is most important. In fact, he hasn't had them the whole match, and that Manuel had honors due to pairings on the first tee. Over the drop-off, up the incline and into the cup. Ray Browning takes advantage of the open door. He moves to only 1 down to Manuel Serrano. Manuel is 3 under par after 4 holes. Ray is 2 under par after 4 holes.
Ray must keep constant pressure on young Manuel because Manuel just doesn't seem to bend to pressure, but it's got to be there.
Interesting fact, Chuck. Manuel is only 17 years old from Australia. He's here by himself from Australia. And for a 17-year-old, he has nerves of steel. Ray, on the other hand, has been playing for quite a while. He aces that one beautifully down by the 3 rectangles, but he's 27 years of age. And youth, the nerves of steel may pay off over the period of time. Ray certainly has far more experience than Manuel. Manuel's only been putting since 1973, only 3 years. On the tee, Manuel Serrano, left rail, coming up against the 3 rectangles. He looks as if he's got it. He does. He aces. He goes to 4 under par. He still holds his 1-up margin, but Ray Browning still has honors. And, of course, that's all important. Honors is simply who will putt first on the next hole. The winner of the preceding hole putts first. If they half a hole or if they break even, then, of course, the winner